Welcome to my National Podcast. Let's get into it. Oh, welcome to my National Podcast. It is Sunday, but we're recording on Monday. How's it going, guys? How has everything been? How's the week been, Riggerman?
It's been good, man. It's been good. You know what they say, daddy's home. So
oh, yeah, man. Oh, definitely, baby. Definitely.
That's the theme.
Yeah, that's the theme song for the Sunday episodes, of course. Yeah, man. We got a lot of interesting topics to talk about today. Some interesting videos we're gonna go over and all that good stuff. So let's just jump right into it, man. I don't think we need any much more of an introduction. Let's get right on into it. So, did you want to talk about this first one, or just kind of throw it right in?
We'll just throw it right in.
Okay. Okay. TikTok changed its whole layout and shit. So I
as a father of.
Okay, hold on.
All
right. TikTok changing its layout and shit.
As a father of a young black man in a predominantly white neighborhood, just so we're clear, if he leaves with your children and doesn't come back, but your kids come back, everybody just forfeited their life. We not doing this. Not if his life and mine does too, and so should you. All
right.
And so, we're starting off hot, right?
Okay.
The idea is, as a father, I completely agree. It's not even really just about black or white or whoever the fuck, right? It's really, if my kid leaves with your family, you say their family, and to reference a lot of a couple of the stories that have been going on, where we have these black children leaving with white families, white other teenagers going out with friends, and then not coming back. The idea there is someone's got to be on the hook, right? If you as a father, right? If I send my kids out into the world, they're trusted into your care. This segues into how you raise your kids too. If they're trusted into your care, right, meaning they go out with your kids, they're still technically, in my eyes, they're still going to be in your care because of how you raise your kids, right? If I send them out into the world and they don't come back, you're not going home either. That's just how it is, right? I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be a subject matter of who's at fault really, or I kind of let him do his own thing, or I kind of let her do her own thing, whatever the case may be, right? The idea is, if I can't trust you to look after my kid, make sure they're safe, you're just not going to be safe, is what it is. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's not a lot of parents that really take these kind of things to heart. And what it is there's too many lazy parents out there, right?
We talked about that.
We talked about that. We've been seeing kind of a trend where a lot of young men are put into predicaments that they shouldn't be because the adults around them are really, really weak. Mm-hmm. And so the idea here is, if you feel some type of way where I can't control other people's kids, or kids will be kids, yada, yada, yada. Those are all bullshit excuses that show me that you're a unfit parent, right? There's no reason that your kid in their mind should think it's okay to leave my friend out in open waters, or to coax him into doing a dangerous stunt he's never done before, or whatever the fucking case may be, right? As a parent, I will never allow my child to do something that I don't feel like they're ready for, as well as I would never push them to do so, and I would expect their friends not to do the same, right? This is coming from a person that has done degeneracy, right? I've gone out and I've done stupid shit, but at the same time, I knew my own limits. I would never allow my friends to push me past those limits to where I would get myself harmed, as well as my friends know me well enough not to do that, right? If I don't want to do something, they're not going to do that. And that comes from the idea of your parents being supportive, right? Your parents playing the active role in your life, in their life, and making sure you are a productive, caring, kind member of society. And so, like I said, I don't really necessarily think it's like a black or white or like, you know, a particular race, because all races have parents that do stupid shit or allow for stupid shit to take place. And so I'm not going to say it's race, but what I am going to say is, as a parent, it is 100% your responsibility up until they are an adult, right?
Yeah.
So the idea there is, if you allow your child to, I'm just being frank, right? If you allow your child to coax my child into doing something and they come back and they're dead and they're like, well, I have no idea why, or like, you know, they come up with any type of excuse where it's not their fault when they were very clearly in front of people on camera coaxing, berating, pushing my kid into something and they ended up dead. Well, then eye for an eye. Fuck it. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say it's not. It's not. I don't know what happened. You know, there's no reason that they should have did that. Whatever, right? I'm gonna come up with any excuse. You're not coming home either. I don't know what to tell you. Is what it is, right? I don't know what your thoughts are, because obviously my children see you as a father as well. So, like, you know, I would hope that you would have an opinion that's like more so for like the safety rather than like, you know, kids doing whatever. But
I mean, you know, they don't want my opinion. I ain't a dad. I'm not a dad. I'm not married. So, but
that's true.
But like, if I were to give my opinion on it, I agree. I agree majorly, but I disagree a little bit on just the simple fact that, like, if my kids, let's say I had kids, right? My kids coaxed your kid into doing something, and your kid necessarily didn't die but got very badly injured and stuff like that. You know, I wouldn't think that would be a direct look on my like parentalness of my child or whatever, just on the simple fact that it's like, I think every parent is going to do their best to kind of teach their kids in the right way as best as possible. Now, I do agree there's a lot of lazy parents nowadays, and that's why this type of shit is happening more and more often. But I mean, I would give them benefit of the doubt and be like, you did teach your kid to their best of your ability. And I think the only reason why a lot of this stuff is happening is because of the internet. I think a lot of kids are very influenced more by the internet than they are their parents. And I think that's what drives them to do this stupid shit, because, you know, we see like these prank videos all the time that end up in people getting shot or people getting hurt, or people dying and stuff like that. We see kind of like skits and people think that it's real, so then they try to do it for real and stuff like that. So it's like the internet, there's a lot of other influence aside from their parents that kind of create the whole reason for their stupidity, and not necessarily like all their parents. I agree with you majorly, though. It's like, you shouldn't be teaching your kids to peer pressure other kids regardless. Like if you guys are playing and doing something and that kid says no, you need to respect that. You know, like that should be something that's instilled in kids. Like I agree 100% on that. The eye for an eye thing, I would feel the same way, because I would look at it like, if my kids or even your daughters, you know what I mean, it came to that where they got ended. Yeah, I've always made the joke where, you know, we would be the dads from Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
When Reggie comes up to the door and Reggie's just like, what the fuck? Or he's like, what the fuck, man? He's like, hey, who the hell are you? Who the hell is that? He's like, it's Reggie. He's like, who the fuck is Reggie?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm Reggie, sir. He's like, nigga, you look 30. Yeah. He's like, I ain't going back to jail. Yeah. I ain't afraid. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you would go to that extent for your kids, 100%. That's why I agree with that. But I mean, I just wouldn't put all the blame on the parents, just because the internet really does influence our kids in the dumbest ways with the streamers, prank YouTubers, with skits and all this other stuff. It's just like kids think that this is real and it's not real. And I hate that it's put in such a format to where kids believe that it is real, you know? And so that's the only thing I would like disagree is just as far as like, it's not all the parents. The internet and other influences do play a factor.
Right. And that makes sense. You know, I wouldn't necessarily say that you're right, because all the responsibility or like all the influence wouldn't be from the parents, right? Because, you know, kids will influence each other, teachers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would say it's all their responsibility, though, because they allow for, there's going to be signs that your kid is unempathetic or unable to look at other children in a particular manner that shows that they have the ability to care and like really put themselves in other people's shoes, and to ignore that or be like, oh, I don't know what to do or whatever. That's the responsibility that I would say attributes to those kinds of things. Right?
I mean, that would come down obviously to their laziness. I mean, we kind of agree on that. There's a lot of parents, especially nowadays, they're just very lazy in raising their kids. It's why a lot of kids, you know, are raised by an iPad.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which is like absolutely crazy to me. I'm just like, dude, the fact that you're allowing YouTube to kind of show your kid the world instead of you doing it yourself. Like our parents, you know, took us places and let us see the world and let us kind of experience it with their guidance, instead of just what a lot of parents are doing is they're letting them see the world through a screen. And it's like all you're going to see is the worst of the worst and the best of the best. You're not going to see that like middle area where, you know, there's compromises, there's resolutions, there's problem solving, there's you know, what is it, like competent thought in it, and you know what I mean, like that's all absent, because the internet is, you know, comprised of 3-minute clips of the entire world of interactions. Like, I hate when people watch 3-minute clips of our podcast and then they're like, oh yeah, I know these guys are horrible people, and it's just like, bro, watch the whole thing and hear what we say in its entirety, and you might change your mind on that. You know, you might think, oh, okay, well, all right, maybe I was a little too much. And so that's what I've noticed, especially being in the space, is like people will see a little 3-minute clip and think they know everything about what's going on, and it's just like, listen to the whole thing, then come back to me. But,
and that kind of thing is exactly what plays into these next set of clips that we have for you guys, because the idea is it starts with lazy parenting, it develops lazy men, lazy women, and then we end up with situations that are like this guy. Okay.
All right, we'll roll the clip here.
Ready to eat, twin? See what I did?
My man's calling me.
Wait, you got a man's?
He wants to talk to you.
Yo, you the dude that been taking my girl out?
I didn't know she had a man's.
I want steak, medium rare, and them little potatoes she got last week.
And did you want the garlic on top they do sometimes? I don't know if I did. Did we have that last time? I think it was Lorenzo's where we got the potatoes. They're only open on Sunday, man. I see what I could do.
Tell her you're going out with her tomorrow.
I'll tell her. Yes, sir. Okay. He said we got to go out tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Are you that ass? Hey, what do you mean wear yoga pants? I don't care what he thinks. I'll call you back. I'm gonna see if I can get us some dessert. Can you believe the last time he ate my lobster? The whole thing. Like, how do I sit here and finesse you for hours just for him to eat the lobster? The whole thing.
I don't mind taking you out to all these nice restaurants, but can you just not tell me about them anymore? I like to live my own dreams, you know? Are you ready to eat?
Cuck.
Oh, bruh.
Cuck.
And then the fact that the boyfriend is allowing himself to be cucked too. Like, bro, like the fact that, like, if you're the type of guy that is okay with your girl going out with other guys, bro, you're a cuck. Even if you're the boyfriend, bro. Like, there's no way. Like, there's no way I would let my girlfriend go out one-on-one. I don't care if he's a friend. I don't care if that nigga's a coworker. I don't give a fuck if he's gay. I don't give a shit, man. You're not about to do that. Nah, fuck out of here with that shit, gay? Bro.
If he's gay?
Dude, the amount of times that I have heard gay dudes actually getting to sleep with their female friends, dude, it's insanity to me.
Really?
Yeah, like that is a far more common thing than we like to admit, or that they even like to admit, or that even
we like to admit.
Well, because no, when we say we like to admit, because we look at it like, oh, he's gay, he's not gonna sleep with my girl.
Oh, you're
You know
saying
what I mean?
like they find out and like they're aware.
Yeah, and
Okay,
but they don't want to admit it because they're like, oh no, he's gay. Like that didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Okay,
like
yeah.
you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's like straight dudes don't want to admit it either. They sit there and they'll cuck themselves like, oh, he's gay. It's fine. You know, and it's funny because I even have 2 coworkers that are like that, where he's a gay dude, and the girl, I know her, and I know her boyfriend, and they've slept together, and I'm like, no fucking way. I thought it was a lie, but I had asked her, and I'm like, that happened? Because her and I are pretty close, and I was like, that fucking happened? And she was like, you know, it was a one thing led to another. Like, me and my boyfriend almost broke up over it, but like, you know, we're cool about it. And that's how I'm just like, okay, so even straight dudes are like, nah, he's gay, it's fine, it didn't happen, or it's water under the bridge. Like, no, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's wild.
You know what I mean?
had never heard of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, like, I don't know what the fuck it's about, but like I know that like gay dudes and stuff will like kiss women or like, you know, whatever, like touch them and shit like that.
Yeah,
and it's okay because they're gay.
Yeah,
right?
they
But
feel
it's-
comfortable like changing clothes in front of them or being naked or whatever, because
Yeah.
they're like, he's gay, who cares? But it's like, bro, that he still got a penis, man. Yeah, the nigga still got testosterone, and you know, like, I would argue majority of gay guys are gay. You know what I mean? But honestly, there's that. Every once in a while, you want to try something, you want to test, you want to experiment. Like, I don't think those guys are excluded from that idea of thought. Like, maybe I'll try. Yeah, maybe I'll try vagina. Let's see what's up. Let's see what all the hype is about. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't put it past them to kind of have that like idea, but that's why I look at it like, dude, even gay dudes, I'm like, nah, bro, nah.
Yeah, I mean, because in reality, it's just kind of like gay dudes kind of just do vagina just with extra steps. You know what I mean? They just dress it a little different. You know?
Of course.
And then for them, it's, you know, it's not vagina, but it is, you know, like almost switching from meat to tofu, I guess, in a way. Or I guess tofu to meat, or I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
however you want to put it.
However you want to put it, but yeah, that's, you know.
But yeah.
I didn't know that, but it was just funny to me that, like, you know, at the end there, he's like, can you just at least not mention him so I can, and this is like that what I'm talking about, like a kid that was raised to just not want to put in effort, you know? He's like, I'm too lazy to really like stand up for myself, have my own values, look for a woman that's actually only into me, you know? Like, it's just too much effort. I'm going to settle for less and then end up in this cuck like this back and forth kind of ping pong cuck situation, because the boyfriend's like, yeah, you know what? You wear yoga pants, you know, rub
like
your butt
take
on
her
them.
out, show your ass, put your yoga pants. Like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean,
What, if you're a dude that does it, you're a cuck, bro. Like that doesn't change the fact. Like, you want to sit there, oh, but that's my girlfriend, bro. Oh, but that's my girl. Like, I get to have sex with her and da-da-da-da. Yeah, okay, cool. But you're also giving out her sexuality to another man. Yeah. So if you're willingly giving out her sexuality to another man, bro, you're a cuck. It's like this. It's like the same if you're dating a stripper. Yeah. Like, bro, if you're dating a stripper, you're a cuck, my guy.
Yes.
And you're a cuck to the whole town. Yeah. Sadly, because it's like seeing her that intimately should only be for you. You know what I mean? That should be reserved for the man that she's dating and with. If you're just willy-nilly giving it out, bro, that's a community girl at that point. Like, what are we talking about?
I would just say this is more so like the first dude that's on the date is like a bottom cuck, and then the other dude is like a top cuck.
Pretty much. But like, this goes back to what I say constantly on the show. Dudes have no self-respect for themselves. And for some reason, you niggas be fighting me in the comments about it. Like, oh, well, we can't be nice. Oh, but like, dude, that doesn't work. Oh, but this and that, da-da-da. And it's like, bro, for one, there's nothing wrong with being nice to a girl, but you don't have to give her the fucking world and pay for everything for a girl that ain't even dating you or giving you sex. Two, you don't have to, these things aren't working for you, if you're not able to like enforce your boundaries with a girl and she stays with you, guess what, man? You wasn't that guy. You just wasn't that guy. Like, you need to look at yourself and see what you need to improve, because I think you think that you're perfect, but you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can't enforce your boundaries with your girl and tell her, no, I don't want you going to the club. No, I don't want you wearing that. No, I don't want you doing this. No, I don't want you hanging out with this person. No, I don't want you texting this person. No, I don't want you following this person. And she's not just like, okay, yeah, you're right, babe. If she's not willing to do that for you, bro, you're just not the guy. Like, I'm sorry to say it. You're not the guy. Yeah. You're the placeholder boyfriend. You're the monkey branch guy. You're the guy that's, she's dating in between guys that she actually wants to date. Yeah. Like, bro, I'm sorry to say it, but like, y'all niggas need to really get that through your heads and have some self-respect for yourselves. Yeah. Because these girls be just beating y'all left, right, front, and center. And I mean, was it last week's episode, but the episode before that, 3 cucks in a row where they're just like, oh yeah, my girl had sex with this dude, but like, I'm trying to figure out, oh yeah, this girl had sex and I asked about his dick size and how he was fucking her. Did he come in her? And it's just like, bro. What are you doing, man?
Cuck City.
What the fuck, bro? So, yeah, man.
And yeah, I mean, it's like they say, it's something I've learned in my personal life from all the, inward reflection, mentorship that I've put myself through. Is the idea is you will only experience what you feel you're worthy of, what you feel like you deserve, right? So if you're one of those dudes, like you said in the comments, talking about we can't be nice, or it doesn't work that way, or yada, 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 it doesn't work that way for you because you feel you deserve that treatment and you allow it, and then it happens, right? You wouldn't accept... what's an arbitrary thing? You wouldn't accept if someone brought you... Well, so I say look at this, right? If you are the kind of person that you go to a restaurant and a waiter or a waitress brings you the wrong order, if you accept it, you're like, I don't want to be a bother, I accept it, I'm just going to eat what they brought me, you are the exact person we're talking about, right? Because... Now, I don't mean be a Karen, because fuck Karens, but the idea is if you can't politely tell your server, hey... this is not what I ordered, can I get the correct order? If that's too much of a problem for you, or that's too hard, that feels too uncomfortable, you're the exact cuck we're referring to, right? Yeah, and that's exactly what you deserve in life, right? Meaning, a woman cucks you or says you're going to sit there and be a little cuck boy, and you accept it, it's the exact same scenario. Mm-hmm. There's no difference, and if you argue with me, you're wrong and stupid.
Yeah, because look, I'm going to show a video that you sent in that's perfect.
Yeah.
What this illustrates is exactly what I said. If you're the type of guy who puts his boundaries down on a girl and she decides to leave, well, you're just not that guy. But the thing is you keep that self-respect for yourself and you find women that you can put those boundaries down on. Because when you do find those girls that that will accept your boundaries and accept your way of life, well, you'll be just like this guy right here.
Schedule for sex is that there is no schedule for sex.
I am a stay-at-home dad. In our household, the women are the breadwinners. That's the way we run things here. That's the way we like it to be structured.
Nick is a trophy husband, if you will.
We prefer it that way, honestly. Like, I would go crazy if I was at the house all the time. And I pride myself on being a breadwinner, and Jenny's right there with me.
I am a manager at an organization company. Jen is management in an IT company.
Jen and I make more than enough money by ourselves. We don't need that. We don't want that.
Let me just say this right quick. If you look at a chessboard, the king doesn't really move much, because he just moves a square at a time. Meanwhile, the queen, she's all over the board, okay? The queen's got all the power. The king just kind of holds court.
Our schedule.
And see, that's what we're talking about.
Yep.
He had boundaries. He had standards that he wanted, and he said, you know what? I'm going to go where I'm wanted. Yeah. I'm going to find women that are going to hold to my standards, to my wants and my needs. And that's what he found.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can sit there all day and be like, oh, bro, but they're chopped, but they're ugly, but they're this, but they're that. But he's living the life that he wants.
Yeah.
He's living the life that most men want.
Yeah.
You know, most men would love to have 2 girls that are willing to do whatever they want or do whatever he wants and have sex with them whenever and all this kind of stuff. Like, most dudes want that shit. This man's winning.
Yep.
Try to say whatever you want to say, but he ain't got to work. He gets sex with all he wants. He gets 2 women. Bro,
Yep.
when you have self-respect for yourself and you go where you're wanted, not where you're tolerated, you start to live life a lot better, bro.
Yep.
It just is what it is. That's a man that's like, I'm not going to cuck myself for nobody.
Yep.
For nobody, bro. The fuck are we talking about?
Because it's like you said, right? The idea there is you can say whatever the fuck you want, but unless you're pulling 2 women at once, your argument's invalid. Unless you get them both to then go on TV and say, yeah, we both are his wives, and that's fine, your argument's invalid. Unless you get to be in the same position, not only have two wives, go on TV, and then also gloat about, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I'm the king. They're the queens that go all over the board. They're fucking, one's in an IT company, one's a manager somewhere else making more than enough money. Your argument's invalid. I guarantee you he's a lot happier than you are in your cuck relationship. Yeah. I bet you he doesn't have a single problem in his life. No. He's not cucked. He's got 2 of what he wants. They make more than enough money. All he has to do is stay at home and fuck.
Yeah, because what most guys do is they're in relationships where their girl runs the relationship, where they can't voice their opinions. They can't voice their wants and needs. They sit there, I'm going to go out and clubbing with my friends. And he's like, okay, honey, yeah, you go have fun. And then they sit there and lie to themselves. Oh, yeah, I'm not insecure. What are you talking about, dude? Like, I'm not insecure. I'm letting her do whatever she wants to do. I don't care, man. If she goes and has sex with a dude, whatever, man, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll just break up with her, dude. And that's the thing where I talked about this on an episode that we did like previous, where it's like what a lot of guys will do is they will sit there and they'll have this vibrato or this mindset of just like, oh yeah, man, who cares about this and that, whatever. But then later down the line, they're hitting her up and they're like, oh, I miss you and all this and that. And it's just like, bro, what the fuck are you doing, man? You had all this vibrato and you were like, oh yeah, fuck her and this and that, she did this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then guess what? Now you're just looking stupid.
Yeah.
Now you're just looking stupid. So it's like, bro, you got to understand, man, that when you find a girl that actually wants to be with you because of you and you're that guy to her, you're just like, I'm telling you, shit changes. Shit changes when you start dating a girl that actually wants to be with you for you, and you can start to be like, hey man, babe, I don't really like that you do that, babe. I don't really like that you wear that. I'm not comfortable with this. I'm not saying you got to be all aggressive and hard, nothing. No, you just calmly tell her, no, hey, I'm not comfortable with that. Oh no, I don't. And she's like, oh, you know what, babe? Okay, since you're not comfortable with that, I respect that. That's okay. You know what I mean? But what about this or what about that? She's willing to compromise with you. She's willing to work out things with you, bro. That's the type of relationship you want to be in. But if your girl is constantly like denying you sex and denying you doing this and that, bro, if I'm being honest with you, man, like your girl don't really like you like that. She don't. And the only reason why she's in the relationship is because she's benefiting off of something, whether it's a place to live, it's money, it's you have looks, or you have just some kind of small thing that she benefits from in some kind of way.
Yeah.
But all right. This video, did you want to explain this one?
It's just basically another example of what we had been talking about. The idea is just too many people are, I feel like, just getting so lazy in the dating world, in real life. I just see so many examples of it, and this is going to be another example of letting laziness turn you into a cuck. So.
Okay. Now, before we play the video, I want to get your thoughts and ideas on something. Okay, so on the Tuesday episode this week, I went ahead and talked about the new mindset of dating, and that dating is vain. Meaning, no matter what you do with a girl, it doesn't really mean anything. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you the same example that I gave the peoples. You meet a girl, okay? Doesn't matter where you meet her. You meet her at a bookstore, coffee store, grocery store. You meet her at the gym, wherever. You meet her. You guys have a great conversation. You get her phone number. You guys are texting. Great conversation through the text. You set up a date. And then the day before the date, you go ahead and you text her, hey, are we still on for the date? She says, yeah, we're still on for the date. And so then you're like, all right, cool. Next day, it's the day of the date. Hour before you guys are supposed to meet up, you text her, hey, I'm on my way. You don't get a reply. So you think to yourself, all right, well, I'm just going to go to the place and, see if she meets me. You wait about 10, 15 minutes. You think to yourself, what the fuck, where's she at? Hey, are you running late? ETA, da-da-da. She doesn't text you. Completely ghosted you. And when I say dating is vain, it's like everything that you did, meeting her, great conversation, the text, the setting up the date, all that was for nothing. It was for nothing. The dating was just vain. It was like you did all that for absolutely nothing. And when I say that, I say it as just like you take all of that and you kind of just go through it knowing it's vain and like, until I get her out on that date, until we kind of show like some tangible thing that she's interested back. Everything that I do up until then, I'm not going to put too much emotion into it. I'm not going to put too much care into it. I'm not going to put too much thought into it. I'm just going to kind of do until we get. Your thought on that?
So that, honestly, and because I'm in sales, this is why my mind tracks this way. The idea for me is, you're 100% correct, right? I deal with people on a constant day-to-day basis. I talk to so many people throughout the week, more than probably the average Joe. The idea is when you're, for me, I'm going to put it in sales terms, but it'll come back full circles. When you're setting an appointment, the more upfront effort that you're doing and the prospect is not doing will increase the likelihood of a no-show, right? Which is why in sales, what we say, we call it holding frame, holding posture, whatever you want to call it, right? The idea is what you want to do if you're the one putting in the effort and trying to achieve a certain outcome. You want to have the prospect doing more of the work, because the more effort on their end, the more likely they are to say, like, I'm invested, I need to actually follow through with this, right? It's just how humans work. The more effort they put into something, the more it's justified into them of like, hey, this is worth it, I need to stick to it, right? So the idea is, if you're putting in more effort than the girl, it's going to be all for vain, it's going to be all for naught, right? She's going to be like, whatever, I didn't have to do anything for this, it's not really a value, I don't care, right? Especially if the date that you planned for her is something she's already been on. She's like, it's just another date that I've already been on, I don't care, right? But the idea is the more work that you have her put into it, the more likely she will be to show up, the more likely it'll be like, hey, I put in effort for this, I'm going to see it through, right? So I agree. It just reminds me of sales, of anything really in life, because the idea is you can attest to it, anyone could attest to it. If something's very, very easy, it feels fishy and not worth it, right?
Yeah.
If someone, if literally you were walking down the street, someone offered you like, hey, I'll give you $10 million right now, you'd be like,
you'd be like,
no.
What the fuck?
You'd be very unlikely to take that as a real opportunity, and then that person could wholeheartedly be like, you took too long. Okay, $10 million? Yes? Okay, here you go. And then you'd be like, fuck, did I miss out on $10 million? But it's because of the idea that nothing good comes from it being easy. People are like, I don't want to fucking do it. I won't trust it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the idea of anything, when an opportunity is presented to you that you were not looking for openly, most people will not take the opportunity because it to them strikes as that's now more effort I have to put into something I wasn't looking for, and now it just feels incongruent with what I was doing, right? The idea is like if I was walking down the street, you were walking down the street, someone was walking down the street, and they're like, I today I'm gonna get $10 million. Today I'm gonna get $10 million from a stranger, right? If you said that to yourself over and over again, you walk the same path every day trying to get $10 million from a stranger, that is that level of effort that you're putting in to receive that, right? So if someone came up to you and was like, hey, $10 million, all you gotta do is say yes. Of course you're like, yeah, dude, I've been waiting for this for a while now. But someone that's not looking for that, not willing to put in effort, whatever, it comes too easy. They're like, no, dude, I don't want that. They're gonna say no. And it's the same thing with,
because it sounds too fishy.
Yeah, it's the
that's
same
why
thing.
They say no.
Because
I know a lot of people are going to be in the comments. Oh, well, what are you talking about? I would take $10 million all day. If they offered me $10 million. But see, the thing is in the example that he gave, what if they came up to you, said $10 million, and you were like, oh, you took too long. Next person, $10 million. Yes, cops pull up. You know what I mean? And they're just like, get on the ground. We got him. You know. So it's like in your mind, you weigh, and then you're looking at that person, you're like, damn, glad I didn't take the $10 million.
Yep.
So in your mind, you weigh these options. It's not like you're going to sit there. Like, in theory, it sounds great. Like, in theory, you would be like, oh, of course, this is a hypothetical. Like, yeah, take that fucking $10 million.
Yeah.
But what he's trying to explain is the simple fact that you would second guess it. You would second question it, because it's like, dude, anything that's easily obtained is just not respected.
Yes.
It's just not.
Yeah. So the idea is when you're setting a date, you're talking to a woman, whatever, right? If you're doing most of, like, I'm making her laugh, I'm, hitting her up, yada, 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 that sort of thing. Like, yeah, she, what I mean, you're setting yourself up to be ghosted, right?
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up for all that to be for no reason, right? And the idea is, when you're that guy, a woman should be performing for you in order to get what you have, right? And that, i.e., if she's not trying to get on a date with you, you're wasting your time by trying to set up a date with her.
Yeah, I mean, like, the biggest thing is you can tell when a girl is excited about a date and when she's not, man. Yeah, I get it. A lot of guys can't maybe see that, and that's kind of why they're having trouble, getting ghosted and stuff like that. But the thing is like, when it comes to women, the less is more. That we even went over a video where that psychologist was saying the same thing, where he was just like, yo, less is more when it comes to women.
Yeah.
The reason being is because you want to be able to pace things out. If you just give her everything all up front, well, then you have nothing for the later on. And so it goes the same thing with, like, texting a girl. If I'm being honest with you, bro, you shouldn't really be texting her all that much. You guys shouldn't be having full-on conversations in text. It's more of just you get her number. Hey, I'm that guy from wherever, this, and that. You guys maybe have a little conversation, maybe have a phone call or something like that, set up a date, and then that's that. You don't text her after that. You know what I mean? Because the thing is if a girl's actually interested, a lot of times she's going to be the one to text you, hey, are we still on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that shows a lot. But we're going to get into this video. All right. Enough of us yapping. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Oh, that's my best friend. No.
Do you have a boyfriend?
No, I don't have a boyfriend.
This is interesting, guys. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment.
No, I don't got a boyfriend. But, like, I tell him about every guy I'm, like, talking to.
I give her, advice and everything. We're friends,
Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Yeah, look at this nigga.
How long you be single for?
This nigga's inner thoughts right now is like, help me.
Fuck. Yes, yeah, he's cooked.
Me.
Yep.
Nigga. That man's inner thoughts right now is just, help me.
As long as I can remember.
And she's laughing. Fuck, she's laughing.
Yeah, she's
You never thought of getting a girlfriend?
I mean, no, I have my best friend right here. It's all I need.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always...
Your best friend might get a boyfriend and leave you, though.
Honestly, I just want what's best for her.
You don't think he's that trash or anything like that?
Oh, bro. See, this is why you never be friends with a girl, ever. This is why you never be friends with a girl. I'm going to show you guys another video on why you should never be friends with a girl as well.
You were born here?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Hello. How you doing? Give me a fist bump. You got a kiss.
Oh, thank you.
Is that your boyfriend?
No.
Oh, okay.
Co-worker.
Okay. Because I was wondering if you were looking for a future husband.
You?
Yeah, I'm right here. Do you have a number? Let me get your phone number.
Look at that boy in
months.
the background. That boy in the background is hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt. Why?
That's why he came out.
Why? Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on?
Because he was at the door, like, and then she was like, "Oh, I don't have a boyfriend. Oh no, I don't, he's just a coworker, whatever." And he was like, "Well, let me walk outside and see what this is all about, bro." Being friends with women is probably the biggest waste of your time ever, bro. There's no good reason to be friends with women. What do you think about that? Being friends with women? Do you think that is like, is there some benefit to that? Do you think there's no benefit to that? Do you think that there are unique use cases? Because personally, I believe that it is a complete waste of time being friends with women. Complete waste of time.
I think in the regards of friends that like go out and do stuff together, yeah, right. Now, I say that because the idea is like I'm friends with like my wife's friends, right? So, we like know each other, respect each other. When they come around, we talk, have a good time, that kind of stuff. But that's the extent of it, right? I don't have any of them on Instagram.
But you guys are like acquaintances, not really friends.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess, right? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I would say friends because I'm more likely to help them out than like if they were just like a woman that I knew. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you, and this is different because my wife's friends play active roles in my children's life, right? So like they'll babysit, they'll look after, they come help, they give birthday presents, that sort of thing, right? So like the idea is if you're that invested into my family and you're cool, right, then I'm obviously going to invest some of myself into your family. You know what I mean? We'll be friends, we can hang out, we can do adult stuff, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So like I would deem that as friends, you know what I mean? But I would not be friends with a woman for no reason. Right.
Yeah, or you wouldn't be friends with a woman just off of the basis of, wow, she's a really cool person to hang out with and talk to.
That doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
So.
And the reason why I say, because my only use case that I feel is like I would say makes sense is if you're friends with a girl through a friend group.
Yeah.
Like if you guys are in a friend group, you guys only really hang out with, in a friend group setting and stuff like that, then okay, I can understand like you being friends with a girl. But doing this bullshit like the first video where they're like actively hanging out, but she has no interest in him and he clearly has interest in her. Yeah. Like, bro, you're wasting your time. And the reason why we know he has interest in this girl is because guys aren't going to put that much time and effort into a girl that they're not attracted to, bro. Yeah. They're just not. No guy is going to sit there and put all this attention, time, and effort into a girl he's not trying to smash, bro. Yeah. Sorry to say it. Like a lot of women genuinely think that we care so much about their time and their attention and talking to them and what they think and all that. No, bro. No, he's just lying in wait. He is waiting his turn. And it's crazy because once this dude gets his turn, well, you're just a placeholder boyfriend because you're only going to be there or in that slot until she finds another guy that, she deems better than you. It's like, bro, or she has a bunch of kids and no other dude wants her. But, but it's just one of those things where it's like, bro, it's such a waste of time being friends with women. And honestly, I would say being friends with women makes you a cuck. Why? Because what do women want from men? Women want time and attention, right? Men, what do they want from women? They want sexual access. Well, if you're going ahead and you're giving her what she wants, but she ain't giving you what you want, well, essentially you're cucking yourself. Like...
That's solid.
You know what I mean? It's like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, you're a simp. You're a fucking simp, bro. Why? Because you're giving her what she wants, the time and the attention, but you ain't getting shit back. You ain't getting shit back. You're giving her boyfriend energy. You're probably paying for things when you guys go out. You're probably protecting her when other guys are making her feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You're willing to go out and help her change her tire. You're willing to do all these things for her. And it's like, bro, these are things that a boyfriend should be doing. Like, I think there's one thing that women kind of get right that I think dudes don't get right is the whole thing where women will sit there and be like, no, I'm not going to do that for you because that's like girlfriend treatment.
Yeah.
But for some reason, dudes have no problem giving boyfriend treatment to a girl that don't give a fuck about him.
Yeah.
Now, I understand if you're the type of guy that Or if you're the type of guy and you're talking to a girl that's interested in you and you're giving her boyfriend energy because you guys are working towards a relationship, that's completely different. We're talking about a situation where you are actively saying that is my friend.
Yeah.
In that kind of situation where you're saying, oh, that's my friend and I'm giving her boyfriend energy. Yeah, bro, you're a simp. Yeah. You're a fucking simp and you're a cuck, bro. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that shit. Sorry to say it.
No, I mean, it's very accurate, you know. A lot of these dudes will be like, oh, she's got to warm up to me, or, oh, you know, like I got to play the long game, yada, yada, yada.
Nah, bro.
And it's like, that only transpires or plays out in the way of like, she is just like on a very slim chance that she can't get what she wants. She'll just use you for an interim, and then from there she'll be like, all right, thank God that's out of my system. I can go do what I really want to do, and it's this guy or that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the idea is like, yeah, a lot of men will say like, yeah, I have no problem being friends with women or whatever, and it's like, you in the back of your mind are lying to yourself.
Yeah,
the idea
you really
is like,
are.
you literally just can't have gaslit yourself so hard into believing that like, yeah, we're truly friends. I don't want anything from her, and it's really just kind of sad, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the idea is just like you don't want to, and this is what I've learned again from sales, from life. People will wholeheartedly defend the self-image they have of themselves, to the point where they will just openly lie to themselves, to people around them, do whatever the case may be. So if you can't accept the idea that you are a cuck, of course you're going to say, no, we're just friends, it's fine, yada, 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 grow up, whatever the case may be. But the idea is you just haven't accepted that you're a cuck, and it's kind of sad, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I'd have more respect for you if you were like, yes, I'm a cuck, that's fine. Versus if you are like, no, I'm not a cuck, but I do cuck things.
Yeah. Or just grow a spine, bro, and just be like, you know what? This girl's not giving me what I want out of her, and I'm just leaving. Yeah. I'm leaving and I'm moving on, and I'm doing what I got to do, man, because it's like, so what maybe you've realized this because you're the same as me. How do you feel when guys that you know or guys that you talk to, whatever it may be, they are content with the idea of going to work, coming home, watching TV, smoking weed, playing video games, and that's just their life. They're just okay with that. They're just okay with just life passing them by. They put more time into chasing women than they do into anything productive in their life. They much rather kind of just, coast through life and chill and just be, there. Like, what is your thoughts? Because when I see those kind of guys, I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? How are you like okay with just living your life like that, just watching the world pass you by? It's like you're standing and the world is just, for me, I don't get it. It frustrates me because I'm the type of guy, I'm like, bro, I wake up, my routine is very routine, and I'll wake up, make food, work out. Then, I'm doing back end stuff with the show and this and that, doing research with show, editing and posting clips and doing all that. And, my day is just constantly full with stuff, and I constantly feel every day is an inch closer to whatever goal that it is I'm trying to reach for the week, for the month, for the year, for whatever. But it's like, to have no goals, to have no like real ambition. What is your thought on that? I really want to know.
It's laziness, The idea is that there's not and it's something that like over the past couple months that really has started to root itself in me is like there's the idea of like laziness keeping you where you're at, and arguably that was for me something that I found very scary, that no matter what, if I don't act, I may just stay in this constant loop of staying where I'm at,
Yeah.
And that in and of itself was scary, right? The idea that I find being stuck really just scary in general, right? But the idea is when you are going through life, a lot of people don't look at it as stuck. They look at it as like, I'm safe, this is fine. I have like a middle ground. I'm surviving, right?
Yeah.
And that to me is very disgusting, to say the least. I don't feel as if, as a man, we have been given the God-given ability to build, and if you're not doing that, then you're wasting your life, right? You're a waste of DNA. You're a waste of life.
Exactly.
The idea is, if all men thought that way of the laziness of like, I'm good where I'm at, we would have jack shit. There'd be people still dying of the Black Plague, disease, yada, yada, yada. Because
we'd still be rubbing sticks and being huts.
Yeah, because you would look at a sick person and be like, I'm not sick, thank God. You go die by yourself, right? But there's people out there that are like, no, I take it as a responsibility to find a way to prevent that, to stop that, to complete, some task in order to achieve something higher than myself,
Yeah.
And I feel like, especially as men, and it's kind of getting worse and worse, we're just not being taught that. That's not being engraved into us, and it's becoming a problem with like the dating scene of men just like rolling over, being cucks, not expecting anything from women taking the power because they see that they get to build, they're becoming more masculine, and it's just like, it's ruining what we have worked so hard to create and build, and it's just sad. It's disgusting and sad. If I described if you heard what I just described of being stuck where you're at, and you're like, dude, that's not scary at all, I'm actually happy where I'm at, you're part of the problem. You probably should just erase yourself right now. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that as take your own life. What I mean is you should just go to another society where you guys can all live together and do that, right? And that's just my take on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's funny because those are the types of dudes that complain the most.
Yes.
They fucking complain every day. Oh, bro, Trump is... Oh, bro, this thing. Oh, bro, the economy. Oh, bro, we need to make more money. Oh, bro, this is unfair. And it's just like, bruh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And you want to know why you feel that way? Is because you're so fucking inadequate in the world. It is just a direct reflection of your inadequacy. And that's just what it comes down to, because guys who are moving and doing stuff and actively building something. Look, I'm not saying you got to make your own business. I'm not saying you got to start your own podcast and YouTube channel and this and that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you're the type of guy where you're right now in a trade school, you're right now in an engineering school, you're right now in a nursing school, you're right now in a doctor school, you're right now in a lawyer school, you're right now in a engineering or whatever it may be for you, whatever that goal is for you, and you're actively every single day like shooting for that and accomplishing goals and just inching every single day closer and closer and closer. Those are the guys that are so focused and have so much going on in their lives, bro. They don't give a fuck what an orange man is doing. They don't give a fuck about what's going on with the subtle nuances between this and that. They just don't care about that because they look at it like, yo, when I get where I'm going, who cares about the economy, man? Why? Because I'm going to have so much money and it's not going to be even a matter to me. I'm going to be so successful that these things won't affect me. I'll be able to put myself in a position where if I want to just leave the United States, I can fucking do it. If I want to just pick up and take my trade somewhere, I fucking can. They put themselves in such a self-sufficient position where they look at it like, bro, I don't need outside factors to help me with my family and what I got going on. I can do it myself. Yeah. And I've done it myself. So I don't have to complain and, oh, this is unfair and this and that. Nah, man, I'm just living life and enjoying it. But it's these dudes that they go to work, they come home, smoke weed, play video games, chasing ass all day. These niggas just complain all day. It's like, bro, what the fuck, man? I don't know. That's just been something I've seen a lot more. Somebody even sent me a video of it, and I think I can find that video for you guys. Hold on. Where's that fucking video at? Did they send it on TikTok? I think they sent it on Instagram. But yeah, I've just been seeing that a lot lately, and here it is right here. I've been seeing it a lot lately, and it's just like, bro, what the fuck?
Your ass look good. Come here. Oh my God. Damn, come here. Let me get a taste of that, little mama. Please. Oh, look,
Nigga begging. This is the shit I'm talking about, though, where it's like, these niggas are literally standing still watching the world go by.
Yeah. Talking
about, oh, come here. Come here. Brr. Oh, come here. I need that. Oh, bro. These are the type of dudes. And look, it's not just black dudes. I'm not trying to make this a race thing. It's not just black dudes. It's white dudes. It's Mexican dudes. It's all kinds of dudes in general that are literally standing there watching the world go by.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me, bro.
No, I mean, it's very accurate. It's very true. Like I said, I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis. It's not specific to one race, but the idea that responsibility is passed off on a day-to-day basis is very self-evident in a lot of conversations that you can have, right? If something comes up in your life and you're the one to say, well, it's because of this, or this, and none of those are none of those reasons have yourself in there, then you're part of the problem. You can't see it. You're part of the problem. That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? You wouldn't believe the amount of people that I talk to, fathers, brothers, sons, and I bring men up because that's the only ones I really care about. Women can do whatever the fuck they want, whatever.
Yeah, look, there's no burden of performance on women.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why it's like, I'm sorry, ladies, and you guys are going to hate me for this, but it's very true, and I wish that you guys could understand this. Successful men, I'll say, do not care about your job, your career, your degrees, your money, you have your own home and have this and have that. They just don't. They don't. There's no burden of performance on a woman when it comes to dating. There just isn't.
Yeah.
But there is for guys. We have to have these things. That's why these bum ass niggas are on the side and nobody's paying attention to them. Why? Because they ain't got nothing going on.
Yeah.
You know. But that just furthers his point.
But yeah, that's just what I'm getting at. I talk to a lot of men, and I deal with a more morbid part of people's life with the life insurance, right? But the idea is we try to have tough conversations of, hey, look, at the end of the day, you're the breadwinner, right? Just like me and my family. You're the breadwinner. If you died right fucking now, say I got pissed at you, I shot you in your face, right? What would your family have to go through? And the amount of men that say, I don't know, they'd figure it out. Someone else would come in. That to me is so disgusting. I don't hang up on people, but it makes me want to hang up right in their fucking face. Because
just like,
the idea that you would be like, my kids, my wife, my mom, my sister, my brother, they would figure it out. Someone else would take care of the bill. And it's like, you not only, right, because I speak with homeowners, right? You buy you take a loan out on a $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 home. You have 3 cars. You have X amount of credit card debt. Whatever, right? You have all these things. And then to say, like, yeah, the bill would be left with them and I don't give a fuck is the exact problem that we're seeing that I'm talking about in the men today, right?
Yeah.
And it starts with you guys being little cuck boys where it's like, I'll just survive as long as I'm good for right now at this exact moment. I don't care. And that's the exact prime example that he displayed where I can assure you those 2 dudes that were standing on the corner, right? Even if a woman approached them, they'd be like, I don't know what to do now. I didn't think any of this would work. I was just kind of
I didn't get that far.
I just was kind of hoping that, something would happen to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you don't even have a plan for if what you're doing is successful. Get the fuck out of here, A lot of men that are existing nowadays are just fucking terrible. And it's just so sad to see.
It really is, dude. And it's crazy because the episode that we did either last week or a couple weeks ago, it was when we were getting all the cuckold stories and stuff like that. I titled that episode, I think I titled it something like, men are cuckolding themselves in 2026. And the fact that title like gravitated towards so many people and they were just like, yo, it's wild to me because it's crazy because a lot of people agreed with us. They're like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, there are a lot of dudes. And honestly, it makes sense of why a lot of women look at the majority of guys as just, they don't exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just majority of the dudes, they look at it like, bro, you don't have a masculine presence. You're not really carrying yourself correctly. You're not really, showing up and showing out the way you should be. And there just isn't. Like, a lot of guys rather be passive and they rather speak in the passive voice instead of the active voice. A lot of guys rather, I'll just wait until she comes up to me and, I'll see, if she feels comfortable with that. It's like, no, bro. Like, what happened to, guys kind of having the mentality, not actually doing, but having the mentality of, I'm gonna club this bitch over top of her head and I'm gonna take her back to my cave. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we don't want you to do that, but have the mentality of that, like, I see this girl, I fucking want this girl and I'm gonna get her. And if she's not about it, fuck it. Moving on to the next. Like, it is what it is. I'm not worried about it.
That reminds me of the other video that I had brought up earlier. The one that I was telling you was funny but not funny.
Which one was that?
Watch. I think it's on TikTok,
Is
right?
it on TikTok?
It was... No. Was it on Instagram? No, it's on Instagram.
Is it on Instagram? Okay.
Yeah. It was... Where was it? I know I sent that to you.
Maybe we'll try to go through here. Hold on. Let's see. Do you remember what...
Oh fuck, dude! It might have been on TikTok. I'm fucking this up because the multiple platform thing is fucking me up. But
okay,
I'm trying to see where it was. That one.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay.
That's what. Okay, yeah, I didn't see it for some reason, but it was there.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, this is a prime example of, and it's gonna be a harsh example, but it's a prime example of what he's talking about of men actually sticking up for themselves and being that aggressor, that like alpha, that like, I'm just gonna take what I want, and women being attracted to that, right? So
okay.
Yeah.
After I was taken advantage of by a man, I texted a friend the same night and explained the whole entire situation, and she was like, and I was like, I know, like, I feel disgusting, I want to die. And then the next day, she, like, flipped the fuck out on the guy who did it to me, and then a month later, she fucked him.
Yes, yeah, yep. Yes.
I remember after I was taken advantage of by a man.
Yep. Ain't no caps in our raps, you understand? A man that takes what he wants is valued by a woman.
Sorry, guys, I retire, bro. What the fuck, man?
Insanity, right? Like I said, in a very extreme case, but the idea is still there. Damn. She was like, he did what?
He raped you? Oh!
Let me find out what it's like.
Yeah! Exactly, bro.
Dude.
Hey, man.
Oh my god.
Hey, I hate being right, but it's the truth, man. It's like having the mentality of like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking take that. You know what I mean? I want that. And I always say it all the time. When we go, I always explain it. The romance books that we go over on Thursday and all that stuff, what is the pattern a lot of times in these books? It's a lot of times the the more masculine, strong figure of a man steals the woman away from, you know, her weaker husband, her weaker boyfriend. You know what I mean? He has just that masculine presence. He looks at it like you're fucking mine. He has that possessiveness about a girl or about a woman. And women fucking want that, bro. Yeah. Women are going to sit here and lie all day. Look, there's a movie that came out called Obsession. Girls have been going fucking crazy over it. And you want to know why? It's because that's the type of bullshit they want.
Yeah.
They want that. They want a motherfucker that's going to be in their bushes looking at them through the fucking window and all that stuff. Why? Because it's called Haunting Adeline, niggas.
Yes.
What the fuck are we talking about? It's called Lights Out. I'm telling you, just read those 2 books and it will open your eyes to female fuckery like crazy. Yeah. You'll be like, what the hell? Because Lights Out is about a guy who is, he's like a thirst trapper on their version of TikTok. Okay, so he's a thirst trapper. He wears a mask, and you know he's really buff and masculine, muscular. And so the girl, her name is Allie. She's a nurse, and she finds this guy, and she's just enamored with him. She's like, damn. So what this guy does is he sees that she's commenting under all his videos. So what does this nigga do? He breaks into her house and then lays on her bed naked. When she comes home, she's like, oh my God, what the fuck? And he's just like, hey, I'm the guy from the fucking videos. Fucks her.
Yep.
Fucks her.
Yep.
Mind you, he broke into her house, bro.
Yes. Yep.
Committed a crime.
Yes. Yep.
And she had sex with him.
Yep.
Yes. Haunting Adeline. Okay. Adeline and her friend go to this party, right? And they meet these guys. And these guys are, I don't know if they're like in the mob or if they're part of like a crime syndicate or whatever. She goes home with this guy, right? And because one of the guys touched her, when he leaves her house in the morning, he catches him, cuts his hands off, puts them in a box, and mails them to her house. And then she opens it and is like, oh my fucking God, this is his hands. She calls the police and all that kind of stuff. And then what he does is he breaks into her house and leaves roses. And this particular time he breaks into the house and he leaves a rose, but he's standing there above the rose. And she's just like, what the fuck are you doing in here? And he's just like, now you know what happens when other men touch what's mine. And he leaves, and then later that night, he breaks into her house again, and he hides in her closet of her bedroom. And she's like dumbfounded about what the fuck just happened, this and that. And so she, strips down. She gets into her bed, and she's laying down. Homeboy sneaks out of the fucking closet, fingers her coochie until she comes, and she's just like, oh my God, that was the best shit ever.
Yep.
Like, bro, and I'm telling you, this may be fictional, but this is coming from the mind of a woman, and there are other women reading this like, yes.
And this is real life examples of it, because I guarantee it was just like one of the books, right?
Yeah.
She probably went off on him and was like, oh, how could you do that? You're sick, whatever. You think you're so strong, right? Well, you overpowered her, right? What, did you push her on the bed too? And then it started getting into like the details, like, what? How'd you have her, dude? Was it on all fours? And it's like, yeah, you know what you came here for. A month later, fucked her, right? There's another comment to that video that says, my best friend married mine and had kids with him. So there's no caps in our raps, all right?
Yeah.
This is exactly what women want, right?
It is.
And then again, you go back to some of the other videos we've talked about in some of the previous episodes. How did grandparents meet? They just were stalked or kidnapped or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, fuck it. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we played that video that was in Spanish, and he translated it.
Yep.
And he was just like, oh, how did you meet Grandma? And he was like, oh, yeah. I was like, what, 14?
14,
yep. Yeah. And I was just on the farm, and, I think, how old was he? He was like in his 20s or something.
He's
like
like 20-something,
yeah.
30-something.
And he would just come by the farm, and he would watch me work and this and that. And before I knew it, I was like in love with him, and I ran away with him and got married to him and all that. And it's just like, come on, man. So, hey, y'all can sit there all day and sit there. Oh, well, why can't you just be nice? And why can't that, bro? Because that shit doesn't work.
Yep.
Doesn't fucking work, man. It don't work. Sorry to say it. All right, I've been wanting to get into this one for a minute now. We were supposed to get into it last week, but we didn't have time. So, do you remember what this is about, or should we just play it?
This one is just another prime example of what I was saying about weak men who... So this is a little bit more on the ego side, where weak men get easily offended, and then they try to puff up and do something extreme. On the other end, where they're like trying to be overly masculine, and it's neither end is really like being a cuck is not masculine, and being overly aggressive and threatening is not masculine either. So this is another prime example of, one, the older generation being stupid, and then two, men being weak and fragile in their masculinity. So
all right,
in their egos, excuse me.
Yeah, because on Tuesday we went over a video of this kid. I guess he like, you know how you like fling food off of your fork or whatever. I guess it had hit this old guy's wife, and he just went over there and was just don't. And it's crazy because there's 3 other women. I'm gonna try to find that clip for you guys. But yeah, it's insanity. I'll find the clip after this one. All right.
You guys are fucking around. You're fucking around on the wrong street.
Like, that's crazy, you know.
Show me your business card.
Oh, you have it right there. So I don't believe this is to be necessary, but I don't appreciate how you came up to me like that. We could have handled it a little bit
different. Why come you all going door to door? Why you just picking random houses?
Well, because there's some people without cars.
Some people with cars, like some people don't have cars, some people do have cars, and our specific service is cleaning cars, mobile detailing. We take it to them rather than having to go to a shop.
Okay, well, my car's right there. You walked right by me. Why didn't you stop and ask me?
Because we started on the end of the neighborhood, and we're coming around. We're just checking it out.
That's the only reason why I didn't go up to yours either, sir. I was actually just checking out.
A window cleaning
and I was just checking out the garage.
I can tell you're checking out the homes. I want to know why.
Yes, sir. I understand. I understand why you'd be worried, but we don't have any bad intentions at all, sir. We just wanted to. We're just young kids. We're college kids trying to make money this summer.
I understand that.
Nothing on our record. If you want to look it up, you got IDs.
I don't want to look it up.
All right, well,
I can tell you.
Can you please put that away?
If you want to fuck with people,
we're not fucking with nobody.
You got the wrong fucking street.
We're not.
You got me? Everybody starts at 0, and your attitude makes you go up or down.
Yes, sir.
It's real simple. I know it is. It's ready to fucking. It's always ready to shoot. If you guys are fucking around.
All right, bro. What the fuck, man?
And this is what I talk about. I'm in sales. I've experienced similar shit like this, right? The idea is, one, right, I'll just say this, right? If you're a fucking consumer and you get threatened by the idea of someone coming to your door, you're a fucking pussy. You probably don't deserve to have a fucking house. You're stupid. I don't care, right? That's partially my frustration, but also partially the idea that if you are so scared of the outside world that a stranger knocking on your door frightens you, you're just weak, and you probably have a lot more inner work to fucking do, and it pisses me off, right? Because the idea is, I'm a dad. I was busting my ass doing door to door, trying to provide a living for my family, and you wouldn't be blown away by the amount of shit I had to face because people are just that fucking dumb, right? When I would go door to door, you would have men like, why are you on my property? Stop bothering people, yada, yada, yada. What are you doing? That kind of stuff. And these 3 gentlemen, right, obviously you have to have some type of plan when you go out and prospect an area, right? If you just started knocking door to door, every fucking door in the neighborhood, you would get nowhere, right? Because people aren't home. Children are home alone. Women are afraid to answer the door. People work from home, so they don't answer the door, right? The idea, like he said, they are a mobile detailing business. They're starting it up. If they go to a door where there's no cars in the front and there's no dirty cars either, that to them says, hey, this person probably doesn't need my service, or it's going to be a lot harder because I don't know their situation.
Yeah.
If I see a dirty car in the front driveway, that means that person has probably been too lazy to clean their car. I could offer them something, right? And it's the same thing with any door-to-door service, right? When I was doing door-to-door with internet sales, we had internet-provided leads, right? Meaning each person showed some sort of interest in the service that I was able to provide, right? So I would come through and I would just follow up, see what happened, right? I would come through and like, hey, noticed you inquired on our website, or you know, like I'm helping out the neighbors, whatever the case may be, whatever I'd say. And for you to react like, what are you doing here? What's going on? What's this, right?
Yeah.
That to me says that you are so scared of life that you probably shouldn't be a homeowner, really. If you're that frightened by the idea of, hey, and like you would get people like, that's my private business, or I'm not going to share that with, brother. If I had a dime for every time I heard that, I'd probably be richer than I fucking the money I made doing the service, right?
Yeah.
Doing the fucking selling. But the idea is like, dude, I personally don't understand it, but when people would react in that fashion, it blew my mind, because I was like, dude, all I want to do is lower your internet bill.
Yeah.
Just like them, all I want to do is get your car clean. And you have a gun out here threatening, probably trying to find a reason to threaten my life. And he's like, why are you choosing random houses? Why aren't you going door to door? Why don't you go to my house? It's like, bro, I'm the fucking salesman. I create my own strategy.
Yeah.
If you were so successful at it, you fucking do it. You're not doing it, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You don't make a living doing sales or door to door. You can't tell me how to be a salesman. You're stupid. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And but it all stems to the idea of weak men being so fucking weak and scared in their own homes that they feel like, oh, I'm going to bring my gun out and threaten these guys. I guarantee you that guy has never been threatened by a door-to-door salesman.
Right? That's my thing. Like, what is so threatening by a door-to-door salesman? Like, tell me that. What is so threatening about young kids in general?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? That's my thing. I'm like, dude, I would never be threatened by a young kid. Like,
it's weak egos. That's what it is.
Yeah, and we'll show another clip of this, another example of an old man kind of just beating on a kid for no fucking reason. Oh. What the fuck? Yeah. Oh, hold on. Oops. I thought I had the beginning of it. Sorry. Let me see if I can find the beginning of it. I can find the beginning of the clip. God dang it. Alright, well. I'm trying to find the beginning of the clip. God dang it. Okay. I believe this is the beginning of the clip right here. What the fuck? I might only be a short clip then. But I mean, essentially the clip was just, you can read it on the screen. He was flinging food at his wife or whatever, and he went over and was hitting the kid, and there was 3 girls at the thing. And to me, it's just like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't see why kids would threaten you so much.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, even in that situation, I don't think a kid flinging food at you or at your wife or whatever would quantify for you to be hitting on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense at all. It really doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, weak, fragile egos. I think as an older gentleman, you kind of realize you're behind on the young versus the younger crowd, so you try to show, the younger generation, hey, I still got it. But Jesus, the idea, but it's in reality showing how weak you are as an older person of society by not being able to reprimand without physical violence, right? Without the threat of physical harm, physical ailment. Jesus.
Oh, bless you, man.
And it's like, for you to sit there and say like, hey, I'm a man, right? And then pull some shit like this where you're beating on a teenager. It's like, dude, what? If I could understand if he was hitting your wife, pushing her, physically threatening her, yes, stand up for her, fight him. But the idea is when you feel like you need to jump straight to, you know, threatening with a firearm or physical violence or whatever, that just shows in reality how threatened and how scared you really are as a man, or as a lack thereof a man, right? You're not proven to the world that you're strong or competent. You're proven to the world that old people should not be trusted.
like your movement in the beginning of the year, kill all old people.
Dude, gotta do something. Get them all out of here.
Eradicate the old people, man.
Fuck, dude.
But yeah, so you know, I wanted to show that because that was on Tuesday's episode, and dude, it's just one of those things where it's just like, bro, you know, I understand having the masculine mentality and, you know, being able to, let's say, what would you say? Like having that go-getter, you know, because I hate the whole term alpha. I hate the whole term, you know, high value and all that. I think it's just overused and it's bloated. And it's like, look, man, the things that make you these, you need to have the traits before you can even think about this title. A lot of people are just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna give myself the title and that means I am that. And it's like, no, bro, no, you gotta be able to have the traits that exhibit that, and then other people will tell you that you're that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you have to self-proclaim a prestigious title, you're not that, right?
Oh, 100%.
It just is what it is.
Yeah. All right, so there's this video. I wanted to get your take on this because I don't know. I thought this was a little weird to me, but I want to get your take, I guess, on it. All right.
I don't know if a man is a good person or not. You ask him this one question, and this will be the most triggering question that you will ever hear in your entire life, but it is a good question. You ask him if men woke up one day and there was no woman on the planet, just men, but there's one 5-year-old female child. Would you be okay to repopulate?
So to answer...
All right. So what do you think, too? What are your thoughts on her hypothetical?
What? I'm confused.
So she said that I'll just let it play again. I know it plays fast, but
can you slow it down?
No, not that I know of.
Is there?
You ever want to know if a man is a good person?
3 dots or?
Let me see.
Playback speed. If you have
I play at 0.75.
See if that helps.
Now you ask him this one question, and this will be the most triggering question that you will ever hear in your entire life, but it is a good question. You ask him if men woke up one day and there was no woman on the planet, just men, but there's one 5-year-old female child. Would you be okay to repopulate?
So what does that mean? Would I be okay to repopulate?
Yeah.
It's either you don't repopulate or you don't repopulate. What is... I don't...
Well, she's saying there's all the men are on the world... You know, all, let's say 4 billion of us, 3 billion of us, whatever, and then there's just one 3-year-old girl. Would you repopulate?
Is she saying, like, would we wait for her to grow up and then repopulate? Or is she saying with the 3-year-old?
Well, she's just taking it as is. She's taking it face value. It's a 3-year-old.
So, yeah.
Would you repopulate?
That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. No, obviously. And I think she's kind of... I think she's trying to accomplish some type of... like... What did she call it? Like, hot take or whatever. But she failed miserably. And she probably should just get the fuck off the internet in general, right? That's not even possible. So I don't know why it's a posed question. But the idea is still no. I think out of all 400 or 3 billion men, we'd all say no.
I mean, you would have the weirdos, but see, look, my thing.
Well, they'd be dead. So
to my thing of this question is like, in the question of would we repopulate? Yes, eventually. And the reason being is because it's like the majority of guys that are going to see this little girl are going to be a father figure to her, if anything. And the thing is when they raise her and they show her, you know, what it is to be a woman, what it is to be, you know, a part of society and all of that stuff, then they're going to have that tough conversation with her. Like, hey, you know, would you be in the mind state of wanting to have a kid, to continuing the world, to, you know, continue the population? Like, I think the majority of men would look at it that way versus like, oh yes, we do. There's a girl. Yeah. Oh, we're all just going to have sex with her when she's ready to go. Like, that's, I think, where she's coming with this.
Okay.
And my thing is I think the majority of guys would be in the mindset of like, I want to raise her, be a father figure. And then when she's of age, we let her know like, hey, this may come, you know, to be a thing where this is something you might have to do. This is a choice you're going to have to make. I think they would let her make that choice more than anything. I don't think they would force that choice upon her.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean?
And then that's what I was like getting at earlier, where it's like, if she's 5, right, and like, I mean, collectively, 3 billion of us are not going to raise her, right? So there's going to be plenty of men that have no idea she even exists out there. That, yeah, you know, like, unless it was, like, advertised, right? I guess, right, you know, you'd probably advertise, like, hey, this is the only female in existence right now.
Yeah. It would be a spectacle around the world.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess, right? But it would just be... The question is so much more than just that question. It's really not. I don't even want to put headspace towards it. You know what I mean? Because then you have the idea of like, there's weirdos out there that would try to get to her early. There's dudes out there that would try to like kidnap her and probably hold her until she's old enough. There's dudes out there that'll be like, no, she shouldn't do it with anyone. You know, and then that would cause probably war. I'm not gonna lie. There'd probably be a lot of war with this idea. More than anything.
Because I think the idea of any pedophilic ideas, I think there would be enough men in the world that those guys would be eradicated. I don't think those guys would really be a problem because of the fact that she would have so many father figures in her life to where it's like that wouldn't even be able to be a thing. You know, and then you also have to understand there are going to be guys her age. You guys realize that, right? Yeah. Like you all you said was if all of the women were gone and there was one girl that was 3 years old, 5 years old, whatever. Yes, that still counts for the men babies. Yeah. That still counts for the 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. Like that still counts for, you know, boys her age, bro. You know what I mean? So it's like the fact that you're trying to get this pedophilic gotcha is the most retarded thing in the world. Yeah. Because, bro, for one, like I said, the older guys are going to be father figures. Hands down. They're going to protect that girl because they understand that she is going to need to be protected. It just is what it is. We understand men. We understand that there are going to be weirdos. There are going to be these creeps. There are going to be these guys who want to take advantage and all this kind of stuff. We understand that. And we're going to protect her to that degree. But we're also going to understand that, hey, maybe she should be around, you know, boys her age. Because those are going to exist. She's acting like there's only adult men on the planet Earth. Yeah. Like, nigga. Come on, man. That's stupid. And that's why I agree with you that she's dumb as fuck and honestly needs to be off the internet. Yeah. Like, what the fuck, bro?
I started laughing because I was like, they probably would hold some type of Hunger Games to see who would get her or something like that.
But see, the thing is, they wouldn't have to do that because there would be boys her age. And so
that's what I was talking about. There'd be a Hunger Games for the boys her age.
Oh, I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah. That could be a thing. I could see that happen.
Because every father is going to be like, my son should have her hand in marriage or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was just that was just a joke in my brain.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I wanted to get your thoughts and opinions. Now, this is going to be, I guess, how would you say it? Like, I don't want to say controversial, but it's tough to talk about, I guess you will. And I wanted to get your take on it because, you know, I obviously have my thoughts and opinions on it, but I want to get your thoughts and opinions on this video right here. And we go from there. All right. All right.
That's my wine. That's why. Did you kill him? I don't know if she killed him, but that's what I was expecting at the end of this.
No, it's the fact that
she left or whatever.
Well, she left after he beat her, and the thing is she claims like, I got this badly beat because no one noticed, no one stopped him, no one cared enough, and no one saved me. That's what she's trying to get out of this video is like, her boyfriend or whoever this guy was that she was involved with, beat her to all hell. And then I'll just give my take on this. Look, the thing is the reason I hate videos like this is because what happened to you is nothing but a reflection of what you allowed in this relationship. Okay? Like, can we agree that he's a piece of shit for beating the shit out of her? Sure. But the thing is, and I'm not saying she deserved it or anything, but what I'm saying is that I'm not going to take away her accountability in this, because she says no one noticed, no one stopped him, no one cared enough, and no one saved me. Well, guess what? I guarantee you they got tired of noticing. They got tired of trying to get you to stop him. They got tired of trying to get you to care enough. They're tired of trying to save you. You got into this relationship. They saw how this guy was. They sat there and was just like, Mandy, I think that's your name. You shouldn't be with this guy. This guy is bad for you. Like, he's aggressive. He's this and that. He's like this. Oh, but you don't know how he is when we're alone. But, oh, no, but like, he can change and he's trying to be better. Oh, no, but, he's such a good guy, though. You guys just don't see it. And they were doing this over and over and over and over until they were just like, you know what? She just needs to touch the stove, get burned, and then she'll finally fucking realize and leave him. That's what this video tells me. It's like, yes, he's a bad guy, and I'm glad that you left, but you can't sit there and throw the blame on everybody else because they tried and you didn't listen. But I want to know what you think just off the video of seeing it.
Yeah, the idea is, it makes sense, right? What you're saying, because I literally lived it where I had someone that I knew. She would complain about getting beat, and I would be like, well, do you know where the door is or what, And she'd be like, yeah, well, you know what I mean? Excuse after excuse, right? Later down the line, it just kind of slipped out that she didn't want to leave him. She just wanted someone else to beat his ass so he could maybe learn his lesson and straighten up. And so it's the idea of like, you get hit on and disrespected and, degraded and yada, 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 but you don't leave. And then so you just kind of want someone to fix him for you. So that way you guys can be happy together, and it's like, you're not holding on to the accountability here. You know what I mean? Where your part here is, and that's a scenario that's a little bit different, but there's also the idea of like, like a lot of people in those comments are saying is like, women aren't just free of what happens to them if they agitate a man, right? Like, a lion tamer is not going to go into a lion's den and fucking agitate the lion and be like, yeah, you won't kill me though, stupid ass lion. Why would you eat me? You know what I mean? Granted, I'm not saying it's a little bit different because it's in a lion's nature to eat prey animals or weaker animals, right? I'm not saying it's a man's nature to beat a woman or whatever, but I'm still saying if you know your man and he is prone to anger and punching and hitting anything or people, why would you stay with that man?
Yeah. And knowing that, I guarantee you, your family, your friends, people you know, colleagues, coworkers, whatever, they see this. They see this. Why? Because, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, where, when you're talking about somebody else's relationship and you're seeing it from the outside in, looking in, it's a little easier to kind of see the things that you miss when you're the one in it.
Yeah.
And that's just the way that goes. And so there were so many people, I guarantee you, that saw what it was that she was going through, tried to stop it, because I know we're going to get a lot of people in the comments. Oh, but it's not that easy to leave. Oh, but you can't just walk away from it. Okay. Why are you letting it get to that point though? Yeah. Is my issue. What I'm saying is, why not leave before it gets to that point? Yeah. Why not say, you know what? If you guys are seeing this and you guys are noticing this, then this is something I really need to take into account. And, if I start actually seeing that you guys are right and whatnot, I need to go. And it doesn't even get to that point of I can't leave and I got to call the police and he's stalking me because I'm at my friend's house now. And this, like, bro, you guys let it get to this point where you can't leave. And then you're like, see, it's super hard. You can't do it. And it's like, no, they told you. It's just they got tired of noticing. They got tired of stopping you. They got tired of caring enough. They got tired of trying to save you, bro. That's why no one noticed. That's why nobody stopped you. And that's why nobody cared enough and nobody saved you. Because they got tired of it. They're like, dude, look, if she's going to stay with this guy, she's going to fucking stay with this guy. It is what it is. There is nothing I can say nor do that's going to get her to stay. And then she gets her ass beat so bad, she's got bruises all over her face. And then she wants to sit there and get sympathy online.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I'll give you the sympathy to a degree, but it's like I'm also going to hold you accountable as well. You stayed in this.
And there's not a scenario in the world where you cannot leave. I don't believe in can't. I don't believe in the inability to do anything, right? Because let's say in Magical Fairyland, he was the perfect boyfriend. They moved across the country, and then he was like, finally, I have her where I want her. Now I can beat on her. I know she has some type of outreach to someone that would be able to help her get out of that situation.
Yeah.
She just doesn't want to. And let's just say she's the only woman in the world with no family whatsoever. You can still call the police, and there are government-funded programs for these exact scenarios where they will help you get back on your feet and you can get a job and work your way out of. Yeah, it's gonna suck. Yes, it's gonna suck. I'm not denying that. It's going to suck, probably worse than anything you would really want to put your mind and effort into. But that you can't say that you're the idea that you would say I had no other option is bullshit. It's a lie. It's a fallacy. You wanted to stay there. And the idea is it was a subconsciously programmed comfortable situation where you were like, I'd rather have this than try to deal with the unknown. And that is just on your that is something that you accepted yourself, right?
Yeah.
So the idea that you say no one noticed or no one helped or whatever is cap. You did not accept the help.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
You didn't accept the help, right? It's like that fucking I forget what it's called. I guess story, if you will. It's the story of the gentleman floating in or not floating, but he's in his house. You know, the world starts to flood, and you know, boats are coming by, people are coming by, like, yo, dude, like you can escape. Come on, let's go, let's get out of here. He's like, nope, God's got me. The water starts getting higher and higher, and then he's like, nope, God got me. He passes away, dies, goes to heaven, and then he's like, God, like, I thought you were gonna save me. He's like, dude, I sent you fucking boat after boat after boat, and you didn't accept it because you said I was gonna save you. That was me saving you, stupid. And from there, that's exactly what I feel like. That is
the perfect analogy for her.
Yeah.
Perfect analogy, because it's like, dude, you had friend after family member after colleague after coworker telling you these things, they're trying to get you to notice, they're trying to get you to stop him, they're trying to get you to care, they're trying to get you to save yourself. But then you get to the point, you get to the end of the road, and you're like, nobody help me, nobody save me. And it's just like, bro, you did this to yourself at that point, you know? That's a perfect analogy, though.
Because I find it so physically impossible to believe that you had cuts and bruises, whatever, on you. And if you had went up to even strangers, dude, like, hey, look, this is what my boyfriend did, that someone wouldn't want his ass in jail.
Yeah. Or try to help you
or whatever, right? For you to say no one is absolutely a fallacy, and it's stupid.
Yeah. It's crazy to me. It just really is. And that's why when I see videos like that, I'm just like, bro, come on, man. Like, I can agree that what he did was terrible.
Yes.
But at the same time, you got to put some onus on yourself. Yes. You can't just be like, this happened to me and it's because everyone else. It's like, no, bruh.
Because very clearly you're alive and doing something else.
Yeah.
So there is nothing stopping you from doing that before.
Yeah. It's crazy to me. All right. So we were talking about like parasocialness and all that kind of stuff, and so there's a video that someone had sent me about it, and I wanted to kind of go over it. Let me see, where is the? I hate that they put it at the top now.
Play the video, but Love Island fans are losing their minds.
So for the sake of my mental health, I will no longer be watching Love Island anymore. For the sake of my mental health, I will no longer be watching Love Island because the shit has me fucked up and they did my girl and I is so dirty and I'm just like,
Oh my god, these people don't know y'all. Parasocialism is at an all-time high. Then y'all sending threats to the man's family on Twitter, trying to leak their information. The fan pages are now pushing a narrative that Casey likes to R-word women, and now y'all calling TT ghetto? The backlash is so bad that the predictions on Kelsey is that Tierra's the one that's about to get voted out week 5. Y'all so parasocial, y'all leaking addresses, spreading false allegations, and threatening to cause harm to people on the show? Mind you, all the girls in the villa told Anaya, do not wait on KC, bring a dude back, send him home. She chose not to listen to y'all, and now he facing the backlash for coming back with somebody? But if he ain't come back with nobody and she came with somebody, y'all have told him it's his fault.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't even know what really what happens in Love Island. I've
No,
heard of it,
I've
but-
never watched it, but I mean, it's just on the topic of parasocialness.
Yeah. This is something that I recently have come to struggle with in my own life, right? I guess, right? Not parasocial because I don't subscribe to anything. What I'm getting at is I'm so against subscribing to anything. I don't subscribe to anything, right? And so I don't physically or mentally have the capability to understand what makes people so invested in other people that they do shit like this. You know what I mean? I feel like it if I had to guess, it comes from an idea of needing so much control in your own life, and you're projecting that onto things, that when things don't go your way in something that has nothing to do with you, you feel like you need to fight for some form of control in there, and that's what causes you to do it, right? Because it's something that we've experienced, right? Not necessarily physically, like in our own real lives, but we've seen where it's like, you know, talking shit on Xbox, where you had those kids, they go down the street and kill their neighbor because they're talking that shit on Xbox. Or, you know, hackers are like, you get on the game, you're like, oh, fuck you, and like, oh, fuck your mom, and it's like, what is your address 1234 Main Street? You know, it's like, I think people get too invested in this idea of like, I need to control other people or how I'm perceived or whatever the case may be. And they start just going to these extremes that are so unnecessary and so unfruitful. I can't think of the word, but the idea is like it doesn't help anything. You're not creating something great for yourself, right? Like, say that fucking dumbass lady that starts crying over whatever. Say what she wanted to happen on Love Island actually happened. All she would do is cry tears of joy and move the fuck on and do something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but why do you need to crash out so hard to where you're like, now, I don't know if she did it, but the other people that were attacking him on Twitter and leaking his address and trying to get his family hurt, like, what do you gain from that?
Yeah.
Is it so necessary for you to have some form of control? Because then it's like, oh, I hope this scares them into doing what I want to see on TV. It's like, why do you feel like you need that much control in life in order to that it makes you threaten someone's family that has no idea any of that is even taking place, you know? It's so, for me, it's mind-blowing, right? Because like I said, I'm so not subscribed to the idea of being bought into people. It really just blows my mind that people can act this way, you know?
Yeah. Because parasocialness, I think, is one of those things where we've kind of broadened the internet so much to the point where, like, everyone uses it and everyone is on it and everyone's a part of it. Everybody is a somebody online. And so I think when everybody considers themselves a somebody online, they kind of put themselves in this like higher bracket of where they think that they are. And it's like, in reality, you're a nobody. In reality, you're just somebody commenting on something. You're just somebody that is watching and reacting to somebody just like someone else is to someone else to someone else. And the thing is like, to be or to want to be so invested in somebody that doesn't even know you's life is crazy to me. Like, let's take streamers, for instance. Streamers, for some reason, they deal with this the most, where it's like, people will think that, oh, we are best friends because I see you on stream every day. I talk to you every day. And it's like, guess what? We're not really friends. This is more of just kind of like a fan dynamic. This is more of just, a supporter dynamic. This is more of you come and you watch me and, you know what I mean? I perform for you, and it's a value loaded exchange. Like, friendships are not really value loaded exchanges. Friendships are more of just like, we hang out on the basis of, I get along with you, you get along with me. Like, I don't hang out with Michael off the podcast simply off the fact that, I'm getting some value out of it. You know what I mean? I don't do that. We hang out with each other because of the simple fact that we're just friends. It just is what it is. There's no parasocialness in that. But when you have this idea of, we're hanging out on a value loaded exchange, and this is something that's like real and beyond, like Twitch or YouTube or whatever it may be, whatever platform it is you're on, that's where it starts to muddy the waters. Because it's like, you can't sit there and try to claim friendship on a person that you really don't know. You know a persona of them, and that's why I say everybody's online and everybody's a somebody online. Nobody is themselves anymore online, and that's what I've noticed. And that's why for me, I like to be unapologetically me, whether you guys fucking like it or not. If you guys like it, cool. If you guys don't, then get the fuck on, man. And I try to be unapologetically me. I am the same person on and off screen. But I know there's a lot of people who play personas. They play up their personalities. They play up who they are. And so what people will do is gravitate towards that. They'll gravitate towards the persona that's being created on screen, but that's not who they are. We can look at creators like PewDiePie, for instance. PewDiePie is not who he purports himself to be online. Tons of people have found that out, and they're just like, yo, he's all like animated and this, that on camera, but then you meet the dude in real life and he's just like, oh yeah, hey, how's it going? Oh yeah, it's whatever, So it warps your mind to like what you see that person as. And that's why I look at it like the idea of parasocialness. It's just like, dude, you can have an opinion on something and you can enjoy something and you can enjoy somebody's content and you can support somebody, but don't act like you know them. It's like what I was saying. I don't know if I said that on the show or if I said that off the show. I know we usually have conversations before the show starts, but I always say I hate when people watch a 3-minute clip and then they think they know everything about what's going on. They think they know all the context, or they think they know everything about what that person's opinion is. No, you saw 3 minutes. You guys that watch and listen to the full episodes, you guys are the more higher IQ people because you guys want to see the full scope of what it is we're talking about. Or you see the 3-minute clip, it interested you and you wanted to see the full scope of it. Like, there's a conversation that is had before the clip and a conversation that's had after the clip that clarifies in context. Like, context matters, guys. Context fucking matters. I think a lot of people forget that though, and I think that's where a lot of people don't have actual literacy. They will take things at face value and just be like, what? Why'd you say that? And I'm just like, dude, I gave you the fucking context. That's why I gave you the context. So that way you understand why what is said is being said. You know what I mean? And so I think a lot of people they fall into that. They'll see something, they won't see the entirety of the context, and then they'll think they know what the situation is going on. And that's what goes with Love Island. You don't see everything that goes on this show. You see a doctored, edited version of what's going on. That's what I mean. You'll see, they'll show you, all TV shows is just a bunch of clips put together. And all you're seeing is just a small clip. And so you see that small clip, you get angry about it, and you want to dox his family, you want to dox everybody and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, bro, you didn't see what happened before that clip. You didn't see what happened after that clip. You just saw a clip and then another clip.
Yeah.
That's all you saw. Yeah. That's why the parasocialness of this is stupid. Yeah. It's really ridiculous to me. I want to call you motherfuckers the R word, but we ain't trying to get banned again.
And it really drives the point home, because people will do this sort of parasocial thing with other regular people, right?
Yes.
A lot of men will go out and be like, oh, I've seen this girl on Instagram, or like I see her like going through sometimes at the mall, at the grocery store, whatever, right? And then they start to make up their own ideas about what it would be like to date such person. And then that's what really, I think a lot of men kind of don't understand about the whole, like, oh, of course, because I'm not attractive, she thinks I'm a creep. But it's like, no, you also kind of did the parasocial thing where you invented this relationship that wasn't really there.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of guys do that. Yeah. And I think that's where this whole idea of women saying we don't want to be approached came from, is the idea of just this parasocialness that guys have, because guys are chronically online, man. Yeah. Guys aren't out there talking to women, meeting women in person and stuff like that. No, they're chronically online. They'll come across a girl on their Explore page for their Instagram and be like, oh my God, this girl's so beautiful. Yeah. They follow her. They comment under everything. They'll like everything. And they think like, yeah, she'll notice me one day, and it just never happens. So then he gets mad that it never happened. And it's like, bro, this girl doesn't know you exist.
Yeah.
That's why I tell girls all the time, if your guy is the type of guy that follows OnlyFans girls, or they follow porn stars, or they follow attractive women and stuff like that, trust me, you have nothing to worry about. This girl is not paying attention to the one guy out of the 13,000 people that liked that post, or the 1,000 people that commented on that post. Sorry to say it, bro, but they're just not gonna do it. Yeah. They're not gonna just pick out your boyfriend and be like, that guy right there, I'm gonna DM him. Like, sorry, your boyfriend is just not that guy. Okay,
he's also very weak, so you probably should leave him, right? If he has thousands and thousands of OnlyFans models, attractive women models, whatever the case may be, on his Instagram, TikTok, whatever, weak. He needs to be left. I'll be honest.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do this. Is gonna be our last video. I want to get your take on this video.
Okay.
I found this video to be comedy as fuck. All right. I'm gonna get right on into it.
It's your main man Malachi. Just met these beautiful people. I'ma call them husband and wife. So we gonna claim it. Yes, please. Hey, my name Malachi. Say your name and say something positive. Yeah, come on. Say your name.
Colleen, what's up?
And Dylan. Yo,
Chase
the day, please. Everybody. You heard him.
Let's
do it. Say something positive. Come on.
Honestly, but we're white people.
So what? You white people, I'm black people. Come on. Say something positive.
Say something.
Come on.
I don't.
Go for it. I'm having
too much pressure.
Say something positive. Come on. Come on. Anything. Say anything.
Get the sky.
That's good enough. Come on.
Get the sky.
Come on, Jill.
Get the sky. Chase the day. Jaywalk.
Hey, look. Hey, y'all. Hey. See how hard it is, but I bring the best out of you. Hey, all I gotta say.
He's talking.
What do you think about that video, Rick Four?
I don't really know the context, but I know the dude on the the far left is a cuck.
Yes.
He's a cuck.
Yes, this is a video about body language. What a lot of guys need to realize is that women don't communicate with their words the way that men do. We communicate with our words. We communicate through, our tonality and the word choice that we use and stuff like that. Women don't communicate like that. Women communicate through body language. And when you're able to assess a woman's body language and match that assessing perfectly, you will have shit like this where your girl is getting stolen right in front of you with positivity.
Yeah.
Like, bro, she's gone. Yeah. She gone. And then you're the cuck sitting there trying to pull your girl back, trying to be like, oh, hug me, babe. Hug me. Why aren't you hugging me? Why aren't you touching me? See what I mean? That's the type of shit. Is like a lot of guys, they need to understand that women don't communicate with words. They communicate with body language. And when you understand women's body language, you can do shit like this. You can steal a dude's girl right in front of him, and he don't even know. He was smiling while his girl was getting taken. Like, bruh. That's the crazy part about it. So that's why I thought this video was so fucking funny, because I'm like, this guy doesn't even know. He doesn't even know it's happening right in front of his face. Like, bruh, it's wild to me, but yeah.
Yeah, this is the iconic depiction of a cuck. And the idea is, you just hit it right on the nail, right on the head, right? If you feel in your mind, in your body, that you have to, like, wait, come back over here, babe, like, you know what I mean, that sort of thing. If you're noticing she's pulling away and you're trying to pull her back, or you're trying to reel her in, you lost her.
Yeah,
just chalk that up. You lost her.
She's gone. She Goku in this bitch.
She's not that great anyways at that point, so you might as well just leave. She's probably gonna be like, "Oh, you're insecure, yada yada yada, yada. Whatever." You know, just go ahead, boot her. Go do something else, right? That's all I could say for that one, really.
Yeah.
It was pretty sad to watch because
I thought it was funny. That man deserves to be laughed at, bro.
Yeah, he does. Let's go ahead.
You deserve to be laughed at because this guy stole your girl right in front of you.
Right.
All because what he did is he just matched her body language. That's all he did. He didn't have to sit there and be like, "You're beautiful and you're this, you're that." He didn't have to do none of that. He didn't have to be like, "Oh, this guy's a zero, I'm a hero." And he didn't have to do none of that. All he did was match her body language. That's it. That's it, bro. And that's why I sit there and I say, there was an episode that I did where I talked about this, and I was like, getting a girl, it's when you're talking to a female and you're talking to a woman, it's better to not sit there and compliment her and pedestalize her. "Oh, I really thought you were beautiful, and oh, I thought you looked great, and this and that." No, bro. Because the thing is if you got to do all that nicety and putting her on a pedestal, shit like that, bro, to get a girl to like continue to have a conversation with you, guess what? You're cooked. She doesn't really want to talk to you anyway. But if you're able to walk up to her and be like, "Hey, how are you? You know what I mean? What brings you to the mall? You know what? Like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. You've been checking out some stores and stuff like that. She's got something in her hands. You talk about what's in her hands. I see you went to, I don't know, Sephora or whatever. What'd you buy there? What'd you do there?" You can easily have that conversation without pedestalizing her. "Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, I walked up to you because I thought you were so pretty and this and that." Bro, nah, man. Nah, that immediately puts you below her. She immediately looks at it like, "Oh yeah, okay, cool. Just another simp ass nigga willing to do whatever." And, he's getting down on his knees as we speak, because again, women don't communicate in words; they communicate in body language. So by you sitting there saying, "Oh, you're beautiful," and "Oh, you're this, you're that," bro, in her mind, she's just like, all your body language is telling me is that I'm on a pedestal and you're below me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I'll give you my number. I won't give you my number, but I'll give you my Instagram. You'll get that.
Yeah.
That's what you'll get a lot of the times. That's why I say this video is a perfect example of that. And I think a lot of guys just don't get it. They see this and they're just like, "Oh yeah, he was just doing this and he was just that. Oh yeah, he was just all up on her all day. He was just positive." No, you guys are missing the point completely. What it was, he matched her body language and he didn't have to say any of that stuff. And he stole that guy's girl. That's why he needs to be laughed at.
Yeah.
He needs to be fucking laughed at. All right. Anything else that you want to do that before we get into today's scenarios?
No, all good, brother.
No. All right, cool. We'll hop into announcements and then we'll get right on into you guys' scenarios sent in. We got some good ones today.
Perfect.
So patreon.com/Am I the Asshole podcast. Get that exclusive episode every single month, as well as a free episode every single month. So get in there, get tapped in, man. Start your 7-day free trial, and then it's $3 a month after that. Get on the Patreon. Link is down in the description. Audio listeners, thank you guys for all the support, man. You guys have been absolutely killing the audio game, and we appreciate all the downloads. You guys coming in, supporting, rating us 5 stars on your preferred platform. We appreciate that so much. It's all free, and if you want to help out even more, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. Our Instagram and our TikTok has been blowing up, going crazy. So definitely get in there, man. Hang out with us, get our clips, all that good stuff. And yeah, man, we're gonna have some stuff. You know what I mean? We're going to be doing a lot more on the Instagram. We're going to be doing a lot more with that. Hopefully, you know, he'll start posting a lot more on his Instagram, and you guys can follow that there at, I believe, Michael the Asshole. And so get it tapped in with that. That's also linked down in the description, his Instagram as well as his TikTok.
Yeah. So if you guys, I'm working on getting like a good editor, stuff like that. Just going to be pumping out some different, not different content, but like just another place for you to enjoy us as a in the community, right? As well as my other Instagram and TikTok are still up, right? So if you're curious about the opportunity that I have that's gotten me so much success, you could follow me on either one, right? Whether you're just like what we do here with our shit talking and proving that you guys are really been helping us out, and a lot of the people that we talk about are stupid, then you can go ahead and follow there. But if you're curious about more of like the success, how you can stop being a cuck, you can follow me on the other Instagrams, whatever the case may be, right?
All right, cool. So let's get on into you guys' scenarios for today. We have our first one. Broke up with someone I thought I'd spend forever with.
Good.
I'm turning 30 this year. He cheated, kissed someone else a few times. My world feels shattered. I lost hope in love, and I am scared to do this all over again. I do eventually want to get married and have kids, but I feel like that feels impossible now. Also, I don't know who to trust and if my person is even out there. I thought he was my person. Will he just be better for the person he truly wants?
Okay, I'm gonna be nice on this one.
I guess we're gonna have to play good cop, bad cop then.
Yeah, we'll be good cop, bad cop, because I don't like to always just dash people's dreams. But right, the idea is you should never let a negative experience stop you from achieving a positive experience, because operating from a place of fear, of lack, of survival is going to keep you there, right? Yeah. Your subconscious is going to stick with what's familiar. So if you're always scared, always on survival mode, always in the feeling of lack, you will always stay there. If you always have a positive mindset of there's something better out there for me, or this is leading me to what I'm desiring, right? Then no matter what happens, you'll always be able to know that the next step is there, right? You have to go through the mud to get to, you know, the beautiful pasture, if you will, right? So to say if your person's out there, yeah, he wasn't your person, you thought he was, but that was just a stepping stone until you get to your person, right?
Yeah. Okay. And honestly, beautifully said, and I agree with everything that he said. But I am going to be a little pragmatic and a little realistic, okay? And look, you guys might hate me on this, and you guys might be like, oh, you're wrong, and why would you say that, and da-da-da. But look, try to look at this objectively. Take your feelings out of it and try to look at this objectively, okay? Men are only as faithful as their options, okay? And, you know, women tend to enjoy and find men that are attractive. They're the men that have the most options. And so if you do get one of these guys, I'm sure you have high standards, which I'm not saying that's wrong. Have high standards, that's great. But if you do have high standards, you got to understand that also other women are going to be interested in this man as well, because he does meet these standards. He does meet these very high standards. And so since he is one of those guys that meets these very high standards, well, he's going to have other options as well. And my thing is I kind of look at it like this, and I tell women this all the time, especially women that are married, and it has helped out married women in the past. If you are with a guy and you feel that this guy is worth it to you being with, and, you know, you feel that he is the guy for you, he is the one, all that good stuff, and he decides to go cheat, well, I would then think to yourself, okay, I got two roads. I can talk to him, and we can try, and I can, look at it like, well, I hate that this happened, but I'm gonna see if we can fix this and make it, work. And I'll explain that further. Or we can go down the road of I'm just going to leave and I'm going to find another guy that might cheat on me as well. Now, let's go down the road of you decide you want to stay with him. Okay, you think about it. You say to me, Aaron, he's the guy. Like, he's worth that, second chance, and I really want to be with him. I really want to make this thing work. Okay, cool. So you talk to him. You have a conversation with him. Hey, look, I didn't really like that you did that. Like, I thought we kind of agreed that this was a monogamous relationship. Like, why in the hell is it that you decided to, go kiss this girl and, give this girl attention, whatever the case may be, blah, blah, blah. And you kind of listen to him, and I look at it like if he's able to kind of own up to it, you know what, babe? Yeah, you're right. Like, I shouldn't have done that. I was wrong. That was something I shouldn't have done. That was me in a weak moment. Like, I really do apologize and I want to be better for you. Then that is basis for you to be able to say, okay, look, let's get past this. I'm going to go ahead and, as I like to say, put your feet to the fire and let you kind of prove that I can trust you again, and we can build that trust again, and that's great. And you guys can then move on from there. Why? Because now you have a framework where it works for you guys. You have an understanding. You guys had a conversation, and it allows both parties to kind of know, okay, here's where we went wrong. Here's the solution to that. We're going to work together to figure out how that solution works. Now, if you have a conversation with him and he's like, you're just being crazy and I don't know why you're doing this and that, blah, blah. All right, that is where you go ahead and you decide, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just leave. It is what it is. I know I'm going to be putting myself in a position where the next guy that I date is going to probably cheat on me too. And that's the kind of catch-22 when it comes to that. But it's a thing where it's like, if you decide to leave, then that's great for you, but also understand that the next guy that you get with, he's also going to be within the same criteria of other women are going to find him attractive as well. Why? Because you have high standards. When you have high standards, guess what? Not only you are looking for that type of guy, there are a bunch of other women that are looking for that type of guy. So again, you can kind of try to set that framework in the beginning of the relationship and try to see if that works. But you also got to kind of come to an understanding of like, okay, he's a guy that has a lot of options. He's going to slip up. He's this and that. Can I tolerate it? Can I be okay with that? Can I deal with that? And that's just kind of a pragmatic thing you're going to have to deal with. And if you don't want to deal with that, well, get with a lesser guy. And that sucks, and that's tough, and you don't want to get with a lesser guy. You don't, because you're going to look at it like, I'm paying for everything. I'm the masculine one in this. He's got no spine. He's got no backbone. He's not really taking care of me. He's not giving me the masculine energy I want, and that sucks. And that's where the kind of catch-22 women are in right now. It's like women want these high-tier guys, but it's like with high-tier guys comes high-tier guy problems. Yeah. And so you kind of got to choose the road that you want to go down. I'm not saying that you should choose this one or you should choose this one. I'm just giving you the framework of you can go this route and, hold his feet to a fire and see if he'll, learn from his mistakes and be loyal to you. Or you could deal with the fact that he's a higher status guy. He's going to have options as long as you're the main girl. That's that. Or you can just leave. And then, you get with another high status guy or a guy that you deem as high status and he does the same thing. So, yeah. I'm just being pragmatic with you. I'm just being realistic to the 2026 dating standards and the world we live in today. It's just the way it is. You want a high tier guy, you're going to have to deal with high tier guy problems. So, you know.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Your person's out there.
Yeah. Look, I agree with everything that Michael said. You know what I mean? Stay in a positive mindset. Yeah. You know what I mean? Go out there with that. My man is out there and all that. Yeah, hey, do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. I agree with him. He's 1,000% right. And I'm not saying that he's wrong in any capacity, but also you do need to look at the pragmatic, realistic side of it as well. Yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and get on to our next one. My boyfriend rarely wants sex. I, 19 female. No, I have a high sex drive. My ideal would be like 2 to 3 times a day, but I know that that's very high and most people don't want that nor can accommodate that. So with my boyfriend, 20 male, I am aware that we are going to have, not going to be having that much sex. But recently there has been a decline in the amount we have at all. I say early in our relationship, we had it nearly every day. Now it's maybe once a week, if at all. We've spoken before about it, not so much as an issue, but in general. And his personal reasoning is in his last relationship, it was very toxic and bad. His partner was hypersexual and he kept up with them. But he says after the relationship ended, his sex drive went down. And I think we were having sex more often earlier because it was a new relationship. My issue is that I am beginning to feel scared to touch him in a way that he might perceive as sexual. I initiate like 90% of the time we have sex, and now he initiates all of it because whenever I initiate, he says no, and he always feels bad about it, and I would never want to pressure him, but it's beginning to make me feel undesired and like he doesn't find me attractive. I even started birth control because one of the side effects is lowered libido. Yeah, lowered libido, and it's not working. So she tried to use birth control to lower her libido.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So she's saying, what do I do? Her question is that.
I mean, he's got to figure something out. It's not necessarily you.
No.
Because the idea that like there's trauma around it, right? And you know, some people say trauma and how you move forward is a personal choice. Some people say, you know, it's something that you can't help. I kind of err on the side that it is a personal choice, but the idea behind it is if you understand it's causing issues in your relationship, you should find a way to work through it with a plan, not just willy-nilly, I hope it fixes itself, right?
Yeah.
So there's literal sex counselors out there that will, or psychologists or whatever, psychiatrists, excuse me, that will help with, if it's an emotional and mental problem, they can help with that sort of treatment, right? Where it'll get them back on track, right? Where if it's so toxic, so scarring, right? All injuries heal, right? You know what I mean? And this is someone that has had depression, coming from a person that's had depression, anxiety. I myself, for a long time, probably should have been dead. But Lord protected me. I made my way through. I sought mental health.
You got on the boat.
Yeah. I got on the boat.
You got on the boat.
Too many boats were passing me by. I said, let me get on one eventually, right? I made a decision. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He needs to make a decision. It may not work right the fuck away, right? I'll be honest, right? You know what I mean? It may take a couple years, whatever, right? But you guys are very, very young. And it may not be that you're undesirable. It may just be that he can't. There's a mental block that's stopping him, because a lot of men don't realize it's a lot more mental than it is physiological, right?
Okay.
And so the idea is, yeah, you may be like trying to initiate and stuff like that, but the reason he's rejecting you is because up here is not on the same page. You know what I mean? So there's another anno in there that's like some men live through this and they hate their lives. So welcome to men's world. But the idea is he's just got something to work out. It's not on you. If he doesn't figure it out and you don't want to wait, I wouldn't fault you for leaving.
Yeah.
And that's not fucked up. Anyone that says that's fucked up is incorrect, right? You choosing yourself in a relationship where you're not getting what you need is not fucked up. Don't let anyone say that to you. Yeah. But the idea is you pick, right? You come up with a plan of like, hey, we've identified this issue. You don't necessarily have to tell them, but you in your mind think like, hey, I want to wait X, Y, and Z time. If I don't see improvement in this amount of time, I'm going to leave. Or if it's not fixed by X amount of Z or XYZ time, I'll leave. Whatever, right? But then if you don't see an actual plan from him as well, he's got to have a plan where it's like, all right, yeah, you know, once a day was cool. I'll work my way back up to that. You know, twice a day is cool. We can work into that. Whatever, right? As long as it's not detracting from like the real health of your relationship, then, you know, 2-3 times a day, right? I know at 19 myself, 2-3 times a day was amateur numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like
I feel that.
The idea is like there is actually something blocking him from having that ability to do it. He needs to come up with a plan. You, on your end, what you should do is just figure out whether or not you want to stay for that plan or move on to someone else.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that I don't think it was his past relationship. I don't. I think that's kind of baloney and it's malarkey, because guys don't derive trauma from past relationships the same way women do. I think that's a new age Gen Z BS that guys are dealing with. Like, honestly, that...
Well, they are, because they're like, 12 years younger than us? They're Gen Z, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so that's, I mean...
But that's what I'm saying. It's like...
real for their generation.
But I'm saying it's like, it's not real at all. They just are kind of creating this, like, fallacy of this trauma that's just not real. It's just not, especially for a guy. Like, look, dude, guys can go from relationship to relationship and not really deal with too much trauma. I mean, they're not going to deal with sexual trauma at that. Not with a girl who wanted to always have sex. Like, no, like a dude doesn't go from a girl wanting to have sex a bunch to another girl that wants to have a bunch of sex, and then he's just like, oh my God, she just constantly reminds me of my ex. It's like, no, I just don't. I think that's a lot of bullshit, and he's just finding an excuse, honestly, to tell you that it's not a novelty to him anymore. You even said in the thing where in the beginning of the relationship we were having a lot of sex because the relationship was new. And I think once the newness factor of this relationship died off, he was kind of like, all right, man, I'm like bored of this shit, bro. Like, it's the same positions, it's the same this, the same that. Like, we ain't doing nothing to change it up and spark it up. Like, you know, so I think he got into this mindset of complacency, and now he's stuck. And he doesn't really know how to get out of the complacency. And so now that he's stuck in the complacency, you know, he's kind of just dragging his feet. Like, and you're like, what the hell's going on? Oh, well, you know, it's just trauma. You know, it's just, it's this. And so that's why I think he's using it as an excuse, because hearing this, you're not going to want to like, oh, babe, yeah, no, our sex is mundane now. Like, he's not going to want to say that to you. He knows how you're going to react to that, but I'm going to be the one to say it to you. And so, again, it's like, if you do anything over and over and over multiple times a day, you're going to get bored of it every once in a while. You're not going to want to do it. You know, there's going to be times where you're like, you know what, I kind of actually want to do that thing, you know, and you'll do it, but you might do it reluctantly, or you might do it, you know, out of habit, or you might do it just because, you know, it's something to do, but you're not going to do it because you enjoy it like you did in the beginning. And I think that's where he's at. I think he's at a place of complacency where he's just kind of like, the novelty wore off on it. It's not that you're unattractive. It's not that he doesn't want to have sex with you. It's not any of that. I just think the novelty wore off for him. And I think you guys just spice it up. Change it up a little bit, you know, cosplay, get out of the bed, have sex in other areas, in the car, at the movie theaters. I don't know. Do whatever you got to do to spice it up, but that might help. You know what I mean? Yeah. That might change the game for him. But I just don't think that it could be. It could be, but like I said, I don't think that the whole trauma thing, I just don't think that's real. I'm sorry to say. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I've
do
never,
better tricks on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never had, like, I've dated girls with high libidos before, and I've never got out of that relationship and been like, man, fuck, I got so much trauma, bro. She just wanted my dick all the time. Like, no, bruh. No. I was putting out penis, man. I was laying down pipe. Like, what are we talking about? And then I was walking away from that shit like, damn. Hey, what you been up to? Like, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? So, again, it's like, dude, you don't have trauma from a girl that's giving you a bunch of sex. Like, you just don't, man. You don't. I think that was a lie, and he was just kind of trying to let you down a little easy. But I'm going to tell you the facts. Like,
I mean, that's true. He could be like, we're Gen Z. They all talk about trauma.
Yeah.
I had trauma, dude.
Yeah,
now
dude,
you can't say shit.
Because they put autisticness to everything. They do something stupid. Oh, I'm just autistic. I did this dumb thing. Well, I'm just autistic. So, like, I wouldn't put it past them putting trauma on everything. Like, oh, babe, I just don't want to do this because of my trauma. Oh, babe, I'm not, I don't want to get a job because of my trauma. Oh, babe, I don't want to pay the bills this month because trauma. Like, bro, nobody wants to deal with that shit. That's why there was a study, and I should have pulled it up for the show. But there was a study where they say that between the ages of 15 and 25, women are reported to date men 3 years or older than themselves. Just on the simple fact, because I think is it the governor or the mayor? Somebody. His name is I think Justin Fishback of Florida. And he was talking about bringing abstinence back to schools. And there was a guy that was kind of like showing why abstinence stopped being a thing in the early 2000s. And the reason they stopped pushing abstinence in schools back in the early 2000s is because there was a study that came out where they polled over 12,000 women across the United States, and they did a various age group. So they did an age group between the ages of 15 and 29. So they had a bunch of women, and they all asked them, would you prefer to date a guy and he's your ideal guy? Would you prefer him to be 3 years younger than you? Would you prefer him to be your age, or would you prefer him to be 3 years older? And what they found out is that over 72% of women across the entire United States, over 12,000 women between the ages of 15 and 29, they all 72% of them said, we want men that are 3 years older than us. And then when they went ahead and polled, I think they took like 200 of them, and they asked deeper questions. They asked why. They were like, why? Majority of women, I don't think it was half, but it might have been like a quarter of them, all reported that they want a man that's older than them simply for the fact that, he's smarter, he's wiser, he's got more experience, he's got more this, that, and yada, yada, yada. But, with something like this, the reason why I kind of bring it up with this is just the simple fact that a lot of times when women who are in the Gen Z, they like to date older guys, just in the simple fact that they don't deal with this like bullshit of, trauma and this and that. No, the older generation are just, they're more men. They see a problem, they tackle it, they get it done, and it is what it is. And the girl looks at it like, that's attractive, that's hot, I like that, I want that. So, I don't know, I thought it was interesting. I thought I'd bring that up. Yeah. But, anything else you want to add to this before we move on?
I had something to say, and then I forgot it. But the idea was, I think it was around, you bring up a valid point, because like I said, there are people that argue trauma, mental stuff is all made up, which is accurate, right? It's all, the idea is whatever you believe to be true is going to be true for yourself. I said it in another episode, perception is reality is one of, in my opinion, the worst phrases possible, but it is still in some instance to some people, true statement, right? You perceive whatever your perception is of reality is going to be your reality, and then whether it's a lie, a fallacy, whatever, it's going to be your reality. So he himself may have experienced some things and be like, yeah, this was traumatic, I'm scared of it, yada yada. It may be affecting him now, or like he said, it may be a made up, which is one and the same thing. But even if it's made up, he's still using it as a reason not to have sex with you. Yeah, you might just have to have either some professional help or some unprofessional help where you learn to do better tricks, or you go to different places or whatever.
Yeah, and honestly, it also comes down to some guys just don't got the stamina. True. All right, some guys just don't got it like that. You know what I mean? Like we said, when we were 19, bro, we was laying down pipe. 7-8 times a day. Like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't get up out the coochie. You couldn't pull me away from it. So it's just one of those things where some guys just don't have the stamina like that. You got to understand. Like, I love those videos where they be making their girl like hump the pillow and like experience what it's like for a guy during sex. You know what I mean? Because it's like, for you, girl, you just laying on your back and you just taking it. For a dude though, we gotta actually put in the work. You know, we got to actually expunge stamina. So the thing is like, yeah, some guys just don't got the stamina like that. They don't.
Yeah.
So, you know. All right, let's get on to our next one. Oh, Jesus. All right. This one is, what do I do? My sister sees no problem dating her sex offender boyfriend and wants to marry him. My younger sister, 26 female, has been dating this creepy dude for a while now. Even after admitting that he is a registered sex offender with sex crimes involving minors, when she first told the family, we all assumed she immediately ended things. Instead, she said he made mistakes when he was younger, that he's changed, and that everyone deserves a second chance. She gets angry whenever anyone brings it up and accuses us of judging him without knowing the full story. The worst part is that she's now talking about marrying him. I honestly can't wrap my head around it. My parents have now become okay with it, but not me. She even started distancing herself from family because we have refused to support her relationship. I genuinely don't know what to do anymore. I want to keep trying to talk sense in her, but I just feel like she's made up her mind and nothing I say will matter. I hate being right, bro. I absolutely hate being right. When I talked about this video right here. So when I talked about this video right here, what did I say? I said, nobody noticed, nobody stopped him, nobody cared enough, nobody saved me. Why? Because they got tired of saying it. Mm-hmm. They got tired of noticing and trying to make you notice. They got tired of trying to stop him, but you kept egging it on. They tried to get you to care enough to have it stop. They tried to save you, and they're just tired of it, bro. They're fucking tired of it. So it's like, I'm tired of being right, but hey, no caps on my raps, baby.
I'm not tired of being right, but the idea is still, look, the phrase that comes to mind is insistence is resistance, right? The more you insist, the more they'll resist, the further apart you guys will grow, right? I understand for you care, yada, yada, whatever, your feelings are your own. The point I'm trying to make, though, is the harder you try to get her to see your point, and this is, again, sales has taught me this, the harder you try to get them to see your point, the more they're going to be like, no, I have to defend what I believe, right?
Yeah.
Where if you have a conversation and you just explore what they're feeling and their ideas behind it, you may get them to realize on their own what you were trying to get them to realize.
Yeah.
But the idea is you can't make anyone do anything they don't want to, especially if they believe differently than you. And that's why I always, when people are saying like, oh, you must be good at convincing people, or oh, you must be, really good at pitching, or like, oh, yada, yada, yada. I don't do anything, right? I just ask questions, and if they make fucking sense, they make fucking sense, right? And it's the same thing with you. If you ask questions and she doesn't want to fucking hear the truth, she doesn't want to whatever, then you got to just let the actions or the consequences of her actions take place, right? What you're doing right now, and I saw a very good video on it, but it's kind of a long video, so I won't pull it up. But the idea is like, if you are trying to yank someone from in front of a speeding train and they're like, no, dude, I don't see the train. I'm not going to fucking... I'm not going to get off just because you say it. I like it here. Let them get hit by the fucking train. There's no sense in you guys both getting hit by the train because you see it and they don't, right? Perception is reality, that bullshit. But, yeah, I mean, stop insisting, and then she either may step off the tracks on her own or get hit.
Yeah.
You got to live with either one.
And that sucks. And I feel her, because it's like, when you're that person that sees it clear as day, you're like, dude, do you know that if you marry this man and then have a daughter with him, there's a high likelihood that he's going to sexually assault your daughter? Yeah. Like, he's going to try to touch your daughter? Like, dude. And look, like you said, man, she's going to have to get to that point. where it actually happens, and then she's gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, nobody cared, and nobody stopped, and nobody da-da-da," and you're gonna
my
sit
family
there.
abandoned me.
Yeah, exactly, and it just, it's a tough thing, man.
Yeah,
it's
you'll
a
know
very
the
tough
truth
thing.
though.
Yeah,
You'll know the truth that it wasn't you abandoning her. She distanced herself and put herself in that situation.
Yeah, she did, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
it's very heartbreaking.
It will be heartbreaking. It's going to be awful.
Yeah, but
that's life.
It is. It is. I think sometimes you got to just let people touch the stove and let them get burnt.
Yes.
You could tell them it's hot all day long, but until they touch it and they're like, then you're like, I told you, and they're like, okay, all right, yeah, see. I mean, some people got to touch it a few times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm talking to the guys out there. Like, the guys, you niggas be having to touch the stove over and over again. I'm like, God damn, man. How many times you gonna let this girl stab you in the back? How many times you gonna let this girl cheat on you? Like, nigga. But, hey.
Yep. Cuckity wucks.
Yeah. All right, we're going to do one more, and then we're going to end today's episode. Okay. Am I in the wrong for ghosting a guy 2 years older than me? So my best friend had just left me since she was mad. When I went to follow her and comfort her, he approached me and asked me for my number. He seemed nice, so I gave him my number. First mistake. He asked for my age, and he said he's the same age. A few minutes later, he revealed that he's 2 years older, which I found a bit weird because why would you lie about your age? He refused to leave me alone when me and my best friend were going to go to my house because the concert was over. He came over and was talking about walking me and her to my house. Mind you, I had known this guy for like an hour, and it made me uncomfortable that he was going to walk me and her to my house. I said no, but this guy wouldn't take no for an answer. He ended up walking me and her to my house, and he made me even more uncomfortable when he picked me up bridal style and started running with me in his arms. Now, for reference, I hate being picked up. I politely told him to put me down, and he said he got it. After 3 times of telling him to put me down, he finally put me down. He reached my house, and since I was borrowing my neighbor's lawn chairs, I put them in front of her garage. I turned around, and he was standing there. When I told him to wait where they were, I forgot what he said, but I remember him asking for one thing: a kiss. I told him no, but he kept pushing, saying at least a forehead kiss or a kiss on the cheek. I again told him no. I didn't want to kiss a guy I had just met. It was clear to me that he didn't want to get. He didn't want to get to know me at all and only liked me because of my looks. I told him no, and I went inside with my best friend. The next day, he sent me photos of him shirtless and a picture of chapstick with a caption, "I know what game we can play." Since then, I have not responded to his texts or pictures. Yeah, what the fuck? This man is psychopathic. What do you think, Rick Vore?
I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. I'm just trying to figure out why she thinks she might be the asshole here, you know? I mean, I guess in your mind, you might be thinking, like, was it just fucked up? Was he just trying to be X, Y, and Z? And the idea is, could you perceive it as, like, him just thinking pushing the envelope a little bit to get you to open up is okay because some women just need that, right?
Yeah.
However, dude is kind of just fucking stupid. And
banned, you're canceled.
I'm canceled. Sorry, is what it is.
Canceled. The show's over.
Mentally slow, right?
Yeah.
He fucking, for some reason, well, not for some reason, right? Yeah. I mean, my idea of it is he's probably, like you said, he probably just wanted to fuck you. He was like, I hope I can just get laid super easy.
Yeah.
Let's just fucking get this show on the road. And he thought if he pushed you enough that you'd open up and do it. And you know, it's the idea of he probably assumed that you thought he was attractive and you were just being bashful the whole time, or like embarrassed, like shy.
Because she gave her number out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, well, maybe not. It may just be his perception. I wouldn't say like number equals attraction, but the idea is like for some reason he thought you found him attractive and that he could just win you over with like looks or pushing you and stuff like that. So the idea is no, you didn't do anything wrong. He's kind of a fucking weirdo, and he probably should just stop talking to women until he figures something else better to do with an approach than, you know, hey, let me kiss you on the forehead and follow you home and shit like that.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, this goes back to the last video that we went over where it's like a lot of guys just don't understand body language. They don't understand how women communicate. You know, women communicate through their body language, not through their words, and that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to communicate through his words, and she was communicating the complete opposite, but through her body language. And he just didn't pick that up. He just didn't get it. You know, a lot of these guys think they're Casanovas, and they think like, oh yeah, I know women, and I know how to get them, and this and that, and it's like, nah, bro, because you got to understand women in order to then get them. You can't just get them. That's just not how that works, man. Because if you try to just skip the step of understanding women and just go straight to trying to get them, yeah, you'll have some success, you know, here and there, sure, and you'll sit there and think that you know women, but you really don't. You got lucky. There was a little fallacies there. There were, you know, things that kind of maybe outside external factors that played and, you know, helped you kind of get that girl. But the thing is if you understood them and applied your confidence, well, guess what? You'd actually get a lot more. And so, you know, with this scenario, it's like a lot of times women need to just outwardly say it. Hey, dude, no, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, you know what I mean? And so the thing is in this kind of situation, yeah, use your body language, use as, you know, try to be nice about it. But then it gets to a point where you need to kind of just say, hey, look, I'm not into this. Yeah. I'm not interested in this. I'm not interested in you. Like, I gave you my number because I thought maybe, you know, we could get something going, but now I'm just kind of creeped out by you and I'm just not good. And I know a lot of women sit there, oh, but then he's going to escalate and get violence and this and that, blah, blah. Well, at that point, you say that and then you go home, you go inside, you leave. You don't just let that interaction kind of hang and, you know, you go, you're done. The interaction is over at that point. Yeah. So that's what I mean, where it's like you gotta get to a point where, you know, you gotta just be blunt. Yeah. Just be fucking blunt at that point. To your thing, I don't think you're an asshole. We both agree on that. I don't think you're an asshole because he's just weird. Yeah. He's just a weird fucking dude that doesn't know how to read body language, that doesn't know how to really talk to or understand women. Just says what it is.
Yeah. I would have definitely, like, I feel like you probably should have escalated a little bit harder on the idea of like, hey, we're gonna walk home. If you follow me, I'm calling the cops. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
I get it where it's like you don't want to be, you know, upset with him. You know, you don't want him to get angry, hurt you, whatever the case may be. But if in lieu of doing that, where you caused disgruntled, like, confrontation in the beginning, say he had followed you home and fucked and like hurt you really bad or something, right? I think arguably, hey, don't follow me home or else I'm gonna call the cops around more people makes it safer than you allowing like him not taking no for an answer, walking home with your best friend, and then now he's at your house. You know what I mean? So, it's really up to you though. Like I would weigh my options there and like, hey, you know, do I really want this guy to not take no for an answer? And then I get it. You might have thought like, hey, I could probably just ditch him or whatever and like escape that way. But I would just say like now you have more ammo of like, hey, dude, like if I'm not feeling the vibe and they're not taking the hint, I'm just going to escalate a lot harder on the front end. So I'm a lot safer when I am going back to my home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So, let us know what you think about it in the comments. Give her some advice, all that good stuff. And let us know what you thought about everything down in the comments. All the scenarios, the videos, our thoughts, all that good stuff. Even the little conversations that we had in between. Let us know, man. Again, patreon.com/MyLastShow podcast. Get that exclusive episode every single month, as well as the free episode every single month. And then audio listeners, keep downloading the episode. Rate us 5 stars on your preferred platform. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. Follow our boy over here on the Instagram as well as the TikTok at Michael the Asshole. Links are all down in the description. All that kind of stuff. Anything for the people before we get on out of here?
Just, toughen up. Stop being so lazy. Just don't be cucks. Don't be women cucks either, That's pretty much it. Thank you, guys.
All right, man. We love you guys. We'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. He'll be back on Sunday. And, peace.